I often say then that the destiny of the white child, by the very nature of the racial status quo today, is conservative. And the destiny of the black child, based on the same racial status quo, by its very nature, must be what? Revolutionary. It's got to be. In other words, the whites who have all of the money and have all of the power, military advantage, economic advantage, social advantage, cultural advantage, all of the other advantages we talk about, they must be educated to maintain and advance those advantages. Therefore, their education is what? Fundamentally conservative, to hold on to what they got. You understand? That's why you can't give your children the same education as white children. They're not in the same place. What are they conserving? Their deprivation? Yeah. And in a sense, we are being educated to conserve our deprivation and to perpetuate our oppression. When you go around this world and you tell me every African nation that you visit, whether it is in the Caribbean, Central or South America, or on the African continent itself, you see African people at the bottom of social, economic, and other ladders. Even in their own countries, other groups are stacked on top of them, one right after the other. The same thing that Marcus Garvey saw when he moved around the world. How can you say your children must have the same education as a white child? When you tell me that the wealth of the world is located on the African continent and located in the lands of non-whites, when you tell me that Japan, which has no natural resources at all, and yet is seen as one of the richest and most powerful nations on earth, that you want your children to have the same education, you have to be out of your minds. Some of you sit here and you innocently talk about, I want to be equal. That's all I want. I want to be equal. Do you know what? That's a revolutionary statement, you know that. A lot of people don't recognize that. They think they're non-revolutionary, you know. They think revolutionaries are people who want to shoot and fight. And so now we just wanted everybody to be the same. Do you know what you're saying? Do you know the tremendous amount of transference of wealth that must take place for black folk to be equal with white folk? Yeah. The tremendous control over resources, the tremendous ownership of real estate in this country, the real ownership of the means of production. Are you really talking about equality? You can't be. And so if you start to realize what you're saying when you say that you just want to be equal and you want all people to be the same, you'd realize that you are a revolutionary and you're making a revolutionary statement. Because for black people to be equal in this country will call for a major reconstruction and a major reorganization of this nation. You have to understand that. You know, in New York, they're asking blacks who are fighting the Jews in Crown Heights, how are we going to reduce racial tension? You know, and they keep pushing them, and I wish they would ask me that. I'm not here to reduce racial tension. I'm here to increase it. I bring not peace, but what? A sword. Because in a city, as cities all across this country, where blacks don't even own their own communities, where they only spend a nickel out of every dollar they have with themselves, there cannot be racial peace and harmony until that's changed around. And there's going to be some racial turmoil while we change it around. It's got to be. We got to get ready for another 10 or 15 or 20 years of racial tension. because it's going to take that for us to gain, if you want to call it, equality in the system. You know, you have some groups, when we were picketing stores and so forth, after they had insulted some of our women, as you're familiar with out here, well, why don't you get your own stores? And you have to remind them, but you really don't mean that. You're just trying to put me down. Because if I own my own store, how would you make a living? So in a sense, you're going to object just as much to me owning my own as you're objecting to me now picketing yours. Because in the long run, your wealth depends on mine not owning something. And therefore, when I start owning, you're going to have another reason to fight me. So let's get used to tension. You're going to catch hell one way or the other. So you may as well catch it in the right way. This is why I talk to black psychologists who get into these useless arguments with Europeans about the cultural bias of intelligence tests. Because you must understand, it's not about cultural bias. It's not about the test at all. It's about power and the rationalization of oppression and control. As soon as you prove to them that you are as smart or smarter than they are still going to do what? Kill you. Of course. This is the way people act in real life. You get rid of your what? Your rivals. So the issue is not, right now they say we're keeping you down because you're too dumb, right? But then when you go the other way, we got to get rid of you because you threaten our way of life and our economy. So you may as well get intelligent and get ready and get the battle on, because either way, you're not. This is what it's about.
What is good, my people? We are live back again with another live broadcast on the forecast. Yo, what's going on, my brother Sankara in the building? I probably even shouldn't even be on here right now, and I ain't got a lot of time, but I wanted to talk about something, and I still named it the title because I wanted to, but I'm not even going to go all the way in on it, even though I think it's important that we do understand it. You know what I'm saying? And, like I said, I ain't got a lot of time. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to just go ahead and get in. I want to, apologize to my brother MG2. You know what I'm saying? Definitely going in. Make sure y'all be listening to MG2. You know what I'm saying? But, I had to bring y'all the notice that all cookouts have been temporarily suspended due to, a lot of Mobutu energy that we have amongst ourselves, right? Until you can learn how to get your own cookouts, they have been banned, But before I do that, right, I'm gonna let Joe Scott set us off in the right direction, you know what I'm saying? Let me see.
Oh, say, can you see by the blood in the streets that this place doesn't smile on you, colored child, whose blood built this land with sweat and their hands. But you'll die in this place, and your memory reigns. Oh, This is not the land of the free, but the home of the slave.
All right, so I had to play that first, right? You know, just to kick off our last annual cookout until further notice. You know what I'm saying? I had to bring it in that way. You know, y'all understand that, right? But I also want to show you, y'all might not have liked that, but you know what? They are also mad about it, and it's pretty funny to me. And we was going to talk about something a little different, but it's still going to be tied back into it. So, you know, it's all good. But
so we're not going to talk about how awful she sounds. How dare you butcher that specific song? If this was 100 years ago, I would be like, oh yeah, it's rough out here for black people. Yo, you're a millionaire in America. The oppression Olympics doesn't work on me. You know why? I was a full-blown drug addict, trafficked in high school, homeless multiple times. I have many reasons to be angry and bitter. But you know what I did? I did the work. I make a 6-figure salary with a high school diploma in America. Oh yeah, I'm crying every night in my deluxe apartment in the sky. What a disgrace.
And was in after that. That's just the tip of the iceberg. It gets way worse after that. You see the irony in this? This is a woman that is moderately famous, worth over $12 million, and was invited to sing the national anthem because of her talent. And she hates America. My God, living in a perpetual state of victimhood has got to be exhausting.
Probably after watching that video, just like myself, you are out.
And let's just play that clip.
Oh, my bad. As I was really trying to show the black people saying what the black people had to say.
I just do not understand why in the hell we are promoting not good values. Why do we have people like Jill Scott, who just took a debaucher of the national anthem, the Obamas, and so many other people who are saying that America is such a bad place? But if America is such a bad place, then tell me this. Why did we elect Obama for 8 years to be president? Why do we have so many black successful actors? Why are we promoting horrible values towards future generations of Americans? We're the only nation that does this. And I'm genuinely asking a question. Why do we do it? It's not necessary.
I guess yesterday, or it might have been the day before, there's a famous, I never heard of her before, but famous singer by the name of Jill Scott, who decided to do her own rendition of our national anthem. Y'all haven't heard this, or you haven't seen this yet, I beg you, go look it up. Be somewhere where you can be pissed off. Because as an American, if this doesn't upset you, you are in the wrong country. You don't need to stick around here. Pack your shit up, sell your house, go to some other country. We don't need you here if this don't piss you off. Now, as somebody who has the pleasure and the honor every day of working with veterans, I get to take care of the men and women from Vietnam.
But I beg to differ. Why is it a damn disgrace?
An injustice, wrongdoings. See, this is the problem. If America wasn't free, why the hell are you still here? If America didn't have the capacity to change, why are you still within its borders? Why have you not gotten the hell on out of this country and gone somewhere and made yourself free? You know why? Because only in America can injustice turn into justice. Only in America can wrong be made right. Only in America can you stand up and straighten your back up, like Dr. King said, because only a man can only ride your back if it is bent. Only in America can you say that the greatness of this country is the right to protest for right? You know why? Because like Dr. King said, somewhere I read of the freedom of speech, somewhere I read of the freedom of press, somewhere I read of the freedom of assembly, somewhere I read that the greatness of America is in fact the right to protest for right. And so only in this country Yes, was it built with black hands? Absolutely. Yes, was America built off the blood, sweat, and tears of the slave? You are absolutely 100% right. But that is what makes America great. What makes this country the greatest social experiment in the world is that in spite of where we came from, guess what? We can still keep going somewhere new. Do I have a problem with that national anthem? No. I say sing them both. I say sing them both, because until we are 100% free, we still got a lot of work to do.
Okay. So yeah, man. I'm sorry about that, right? So, I got to do that and understand this, right? The reasons why that the cookouts have been canceled or whatever, it comes from above me. I'm just giving you the word. You know what I'm saying? Is because we out here acting like a bunch of, I'm gonna just say B words. You know what I'm saying? I should probably use the actual memo had to be they didn't say B word. You know what I'm saying? But it's just the fact that we're acting like B words, and until you can learn how to commoditize, number one, not number one, but until you learn how to commoditize, but importantly, learn how to even gatekeep or to protect your stuff, your surroundings, the same way that they will not let you quote unquote disgrace their, like they call that a national anthem, but we will let them disgrace us in any way, shape, or fashion, and we still do nothing about it. Right. And like I said, this was gonna be something different, but I saw something, and I tell y'all, like, don't be like emotional or upset, all that. But this right here kind of pissed me off, right? So I had to show y'all, and y'all know I get caught in a rabbit hole, right? So I'm gonna go through this. Right, and this right here kind of pissed me off, but we're gonna kind of come back to what we was talking about right there. You know what I'm saying? But check this out. Imagine you drop your child off at a daycare center, and then they come back. Oh yeah, don't forget your kid's finger over here because it got chopped off. We just called you to pick her up. Imagine you sending your kid to that kind of daycare, right? And letting what be. Yeah, what up, real black gentleman? It's been a minute, bro.
Child Protective Services is investigating an incident at a daycare after a toddler lost the tip of her finger from closing a door.
ABC 13 reporter Shelley Childers spoke with the girl's mother and joins us live from the daycare in Cyprus. Shelley?
Gina and Eric, this is the daycare behind me. It's the Early Learning Center operated by Cyfair ISD, and this is where a 15-month-old little girl lost the tip of her finger after it was caught in a closing door.
Hey, Dad, say hi. Can you say hi?
This is
this is what I'm talking about, right? You got the worst, like you already understand how America is with child care services, but we understand how bad it is. But again, we do absolutely nothing, and the people that do, we don't help them or support them, but I'm just saying, like, this kind of stuff is just crazy. Like, they was like, oh yeah, well, the person just got this little baby right here got their finger caught in the door, and oops, what I'm saying, my bad. Now she's like got a tip of her finger chopped off. It's like when we have all of these issues, like we can't even plug the leaks no more because we straight flooded, and it's all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, and we still have not learned that. That's why it got canceled. You know what I'm saying? I think, in my opinion. All right, maybe I got canceled just for the musical guests didn't show up. I don't know.
This is little Madeline, and this is the cast protecting her hand after the tip of her right ring finger was severed off. It all happened at their daycare, the Cyfair ISD Early Learning Center 2. Mother Danielle Hurt saw the surveillance video that she says shows her toddler walking in from the outside playground. A teacher, she says, wasn't paying attention and allowed the door to close while Madeline's finger was in the doorway. This mother believes the daycare acted negligently twice. First, by allowing the door to shut on her daughter, and then by not promptly calling 911 to try to reattach.
So her finger got caught up, and they saw that it got detached. And instead of calling the ambulance or the police or anything, they like, oh yeah, yo, come get your daughter real quick. They ain't even tell her what was up. They just called the mom. They ain't call for like no help or anything. Like, imagine the pain this little child must be in with the tip of her finger missing, and they ain't even call anybody.
The finger sooner. Instead, she says they called her to come pick up her child.
And then they said, oh, we need to give you her finger. And I was like, what? Like,
Right? They like, oh wait, don't forget your kid's finger when you almost forgot to give you her finger. Like, you see how sick that is? Like, and it's a big part where that got to be eliminated, I think, before we can get the cookouts back around. I want to go to the cookouts too. We be jamming, we do be jamming, but like, this is like as a mentality, right? That got to be purged from our system, where we allow this kind of thing to happen, and we could be pissed off, but it's what we do or don't do about it, you know, because we can have the same conversations over and over. It's easy to have the same conversations, but like this kind of sickness is like, you don't want this to happen to you, you know?
her finger. And I was like, what? Like, when I came, I wasn't aware that the actual good portion of her finger was in a plastic bag until I got ready to go. They did not let me know that up front.
This medical document shared by mom shows the amputation diagnosis
Her
at the
finger
ER.
in a
They
bag,
were able
like,
to reattach the finger, but sadly, she says,
ain't like put it on ice or none of that stuff. Called the paramedic, none of that stuff.
attach the finger, but sadly, she says it's likely going to fall off.
It will become like a lifelong deformity. She'll never have that portion of her finger.
CPS tells us they are investigating. The school district says they reported the incident to Texas Health and Human Services, which regulates child care licensing. Cy-Fair ISD also sent us this statement that says, in part, immediately after the accident occurred, the staff administered first aid to the child and called the child's mom, who quickly arrived at the center and voluntarily transported her child to a medical facility. The incident was determined.
Right, they administered first aid out. They put a Band-Aid on it. Yo, what up? Yo, Erica in the building. Shouts out to Erica. Yo, appreciate you, Erica. You're in the building. Yo, what up, Black Megas? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, it's just crazy here. Right? So,
Medical facility. The incident was determined to be an accident. Both the teacher and director remain employed by the district.
This can't be an accident if a teacher allows the door to amputate a good portion of a child's finger. It can't be an accident.
So like, pretty much they didn't even get like fired or suspended, or I don't even think reprimanded for that. You know what I'm saying? They was like, oh yeah, I wasn't paying attention, and then the door literally severed, you know what I'm saying, their finger off, a part of their finger. And instead of calling 911 or putting it in a cooler on some ice, they just called the mom, put it in a plastic bag, and oh hey, wait, don't forget your child's finger as you leave.
Accident.
This mother says she is looking into pressing charges for negligence. She wants the teacher and daycare director terminated for the permanent injury to her daughter. In Cyprus, Shelley Childers, ABC.
Sick, man. It's sick, you know. And like I said, I wanted to talk about something there, but I had to show that because I'm not gonna lie, like that kind of like made me mad, you know. And like, what are we gonna do about it? I just wanted to play. I don't really want to play this dude, but it was like some of the details, of course, like the police.
When she picked up the child, a worker handed her the finger tip of the child. Her told ABC 13 Eyewitness News after young daughter is now facing a lifelong deformity.
Yeah, I know, Erica. That's what I'm saying. Like, I know, because even after the first time, it was already like, what the, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to say. Like, yo, that's really what it is. And like, yo, we got to be able to do something about that. You know what I'm saying? Shouldn't take this happening or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But, you know. Yo, what up, Oni?
After a teacher at Early Learning Center let a door swing shut on the child's hand. There's more. Per ABC 13, Child Protective Services says it's investigating the incident And the Cypress Fairbanks School District said it self-reported the incident to the state, though the report is not publicly listed. Hurt has accused the district of failing to take the injury seriously. Hurt saw the surveillance video and says
it's Bakari's boy. But yeah, it's because they had other things that the news left out. You know what I'm saying?
Ms. Hurt believes the daycare acted negligently twice. First, she says, by allowing the door to shed on her daughter, and then by not promptly calling 911 to try to reattach the finger sooner. Instead, she says they called her to come pick up the child. She also told...
This is what I'm saying. I know, Erica, like, and that's why I be showing all of these things, because I'm like, yo, this could hit home at any time, you know what I'm saying? This is why we can't be like joking and laughing and like doing all this stuff, like, especially if we're not doing anything instead of having the same conversations. Like, we in like danger, you know what I'm saying?
ABC 13, and I quote, and then they said, oh, we need to give you her finger. And I was like, what? I wasn't aware.
And think about, and that's what I'm saying with the medicine and stuff. I wonder if they even gave her anything for like the pain and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, this little girl is probably crying and stuff, and they like, oh Lord, just call her mom, you know? And they don't believe you when you talk about, and then the medicines they give you, the misdiagnosis that you get when you in these situations all the way around the board. You know what I'm saying? And this is the part we don't understand. You know, because if we did, we wouldn't be, you know what I'm saying, doing the things that we do.
An actual good portion of her finger.
Yo, what up, MG2, y'all? My bad, my brother. I was listening to you earlier. I just had to do it because I ain't have a lot of time. And even though I switched it up, I just had to show a couple of things. This right here kind of pissed me off, but like, yeah, I know, Erica. And then all of that could have been straight avoided, you know what I'm saying? But then we like we're still powerless to stop it. And it's like crazy, you know what I'm saying?
Was in a plastic bag until I got ready to go.
Yeah, this little child here lost their finger. She got her finger caught in the door. And then instead of calling 911, the daycare center that, you know, y'all got children, y'all drop them off every day. You know what I'm saying? So like, the door shut on her finger, and it severed the tip of her finger. And instead of calling the ambulance or doing anything like that, they just called her mom to come pick her up and put the finger in a plastic bag. You know what I'm saying? And this is what I'm saying. This is a little girl. You know what I'm saying? What you think they doing to like women? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, they did not let me know that up front. Let's put it up. ER doctors at Texas Children's Hospital were able to reattach the finger, but sadly, Hurt says it will likely fall off. Hurt is looking into pressing charges for negligence and wants the teacher and daycare director.
All right, I'll skip it back. You know, I don't want to play all that over again. Yeah, and there is no institutions that we can like protect each other. You know what I'm saying, or to make for each other, or to send nursing programs that like we used to be able to do. You know what I'm saying? Also, I seen this, you know, Bakari sent me this, and yeah, like, it's real, Erica, I already know. But yeah, also this dude, you know what I'm saying? I want you to understand certain things here, right? Because I showed you how other people protect their culture, like, and we don't protect them.
Moments later, the attacker decides to give police a fight. Glad you're with us for Local 4 News at 6. I'm Devin Skillian.
Oh, my bad.
A rec center camera captures an adult attacking a 13-year-old boy right in front of shocked onlookers.
Moments later, the attacker decides to give police a fight. Glad you're with us for Local 4 News at 6. I'm Devin Skillian.
I'm Kimberly Gill. What could prompt an adult man to attack a young teen? Well, tonight we're told it was hardly anything worth getting upset over.
Yeah, Livonia police releasing video of the attack inside the Kirksey Rec Center on Hubbard, just south of 5 Mile Road. Will Jones live there now with reaction from the boy's mother. Will.
Devin and Kimberly, the mother of the boy, has seen the video of what happened to him, and she is disappointed by this.
And even though I didn't want to talk about this kind of stuff, like, you know, And like that's like the point, you know, is the lack of not doing anything. Like, and it's gonna have the same problems over and over. You know, it's crazy, but you know.
And she is disappointed by this. It was hard for her to see her son get punched by an adult repeatedly, and this apparently all started with a brush of a shoulder. Livonia police body cam video capturing the takedown of 29-year-old Moise Irfan at the Kirksey Recreation Center slurs at a 13-year-old boy. This began after the two ran into each other. They exchange words. The teen goes to get help.
See, now you can see this Arab dude bumped into this little kid, and the little kid was like, "Yo, what the hell are you doing?"
This began after the two ran into each other. They exchange words. The teen goes to get help. That's when Irfan charges at him and starts swinging. Rashawn Cooper Black is the teen's mother.
It upset me to see my son attack defenseless to a grown adult to try to prevent the situation.
And the thing is, like, you know, a lot of male leadership, male protection, like even when you go down to these doctor's offices, but even to this point, like, yo, you got a father, yo, my fingertip got cut off. You think I'm gonna call the news? Like, no, somebody's fingertip gotta go tonight. One of those little sleeping kids, you know what I'm saying, that you love so much, you know. And this dude here attacking a young boy, you know, and there's a sister out here on the news instead of, you know, brothers rolling up or going with our sisters to their doctor's appointment, you know what I'm saying, like to make sure that they not just getting like screwed over or they telling them anything, or, you know what I'm saying, to make sure whatever, because they would definitely take advantage of people in a certain situation. Like, it's not set up for us. The whole system not set up for us.
Bad, doing the right thing, going to tell someone to work there and asking for help, and for him not to get help.
After attacking her son, Cam, Irfan just walks away.
Yo, peep this part. Like, look, now if you was to actually raise your voice with a white bitch, all of these people would have ran in and stepped in between you. But with this little young person being, and I don't know if a black person was around or not, but like, this is the manifestation of everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, how when we don't be there for each other, this is just the manifestation of it. And I ain't saying that a black person was there or not, but it's the lack of protection that it goes in on.
Her son, Cam,
Yo, what up,
just
Bakari?
walks away.
Them letting him just beat my son, not helping, not stopping him. He could have just went on a rampage and started beating other people.
When police arrived,
too bad this like not 2001 where they thought all of them was like criminals and stuff.
Irfan continues using racial slurs and also uses a derogatory term for police. Irfan is now facing aggravated assault, ethnic and...
See, now this Arab dude is, you know what I'm saying, he understands there's no consequences. He can go beat up a 13-year-old little boy and walk away. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like I said, this is no time. Like, this may be a part of the reason why the cookouts and stuff have been suspended temporarily. You know what I'm saying? Because like, it's a state of emergency right now, you know, and at least until you can learn how to monetize it and stuff and use it for the things that you need, you know what I'm saying? Let's see, yo. So yeah, watch this, yo. He's talking about somebody pulled a swatting prank on black men on the job.
I mean, you can knock at the door if you want.
Okay. No one else called? You guys have any issues with anybody?
No.
No?
No. They said what?
They said they saw one old male get kidnapped by 4 black males with guns.
Bro, it's just 2 of us here.
Yeah, no, so we wanted to find out where did anyone leave that?
No. We're black, but it's 2 of us. We're doing gutters.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So, you know, swatting, that's what we think it is.
What is that?
Where they call to have a police response for something.
Hey, sir, you have police here saying someone's getting kidnapped by black guys. Oh my God, look at this. Chris! He said someone said that 4 black guys were
live here. Yeah, so we got a call that an old male was getting kidnapped by 4 black males.
No, Chris, take your headphones off. Police said we kidnapping the customers. They out front, bro.
He probably listen to Frankie Beverly on the headphones. Yo, he look Pakistan. Yo, he may be. I don't know. It's hard for me to tell them apart. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, bro. Got them dumbass headphones on. Police all out front saying 4 black guys kidnapping the old dude. I'm out of here, bro. I'm not even about to finish this job, bro.
All right, so yo, and it was like, yo, they not about to finish, you know what I'm saying? But you know, I guess I shouldn't have showed that, but like, so like, I want you to understand something that I'm about to show, you know, and maybe when we learn this, maybe we can get our cookouts back, you know what I'm saying? I like Frankie Beverly too, you know what I'm saying? I listen to it, right? But right now, it's just a bad time, you know, because I ain't even showed the stuff that I wanted to show, you know, so I just went down the rabbit hole. Now, I don't know if you saw this lately, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't think that this is like bad or anything. It's just the lessons of understanding how to, number one, gatekeep your stuff and commoditize your stuff and protect your stuff so that you know, like you can drop your kid off at a daycare center and you don't have to worry about like, oh, we have to do the homeschool and stuff, because we know that the system that we have built is good for our children, and so that we can go out there and be productive humans in the world, you know what I'm saying? But we the only people that don't have this certain mindset, and this is probably a big reason, because everybody's invited to the cookouts, but there is not.
The thing that I want to do is make sure that the American taxpayer has a say-so in whether we pay for anything to do with abortion. That is what
I went back too far.
You've chosen to take up. But speaking of the military, I do want to give you a chance to clarify some comments you made recently on white nationalists serving in the military. For those who are watching, if they haven't heard your remarks, this is what you said.
Do you believe they should allow white nationalists in the military?
Well, they call them that. I call them Americans.
Now, see, I don't even think nothing wrong with what he said, you know what I'm saying? Because I think they all white nationalists to me. Like, they want to preserve America, their system, their protection, their way of life, you know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, he calls them quote unquote Americans. That's just what they call them now, you know what I'm saying? It's all white nationalism, you know what I mean? But the thing is, right, their picnics are, well, they let you in one condition, right? But their picnics are guarded, you know what I'm saying? They're not letting you into their groups, you know what I'm saying? So they commoditize what they do, you know what I'm saying? They work in unison. Like, we are going to go, we're going to dance, you know what I'm saying? That's for sure. But we are not going to protect or to quote unquote gatekeep or to monetize anything.
Do you want to explain those comments, Senator?
Yeah, first of all, I'm totally against any type of racism, okay? I was a football coach for 40 years.
And this is the important part, because he made a living off of coaching young black males, right? Being an influence and a lot of young black males who want to go through him and all of that stuff. And yeah, they could teach you stuff, but you don't want to talk about anything because obviously you know where they stand, right? And the problem is you don't know where they stand, or you don't stand where you're supposed to stand. Like, and he understands what's going on. So he's coaching young black males. So he's going to say, well, you know, I've done this. I've coached young black males. Of course, I am not racist, right? But I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying what happens in the world.
I'm totally against any type of racism, okay? I was a football coach for 40 years, and I dealt and had opportunity to be around.
No, I called the Coon. This is why we canceling the cookout. It's not just the HBCUs, Bakari. The HBCUs, we got the you know, the cookouts dancing with us. You know what I'm saying? Like their coons be there dancing with us, inviting who they invite. We all invite somebody. I ain't even saying that I'm better than nobody. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, we all could be better. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all have a coon chip that have been installed in us. You know how we speak in English, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, we all to the show, you know what I'm saying? But I don't have no young boy black sons or anybody playing for like Tommy Tuberville. But unfortunately, a lot of us do.
I was a football coach for 40 years, and I dealt and had opportunity to be around more minorities than anybody up here on this hill. But when our military has been attacked.
Right, that's the whole point of playing this right now, Bukhari. You know what I'm saying? And we do talk about all of that, but we don't expect us to act like, or I guess we do. That's why the cookout got canceled in the first place. So I'm sorry, I'm late to the party. I got thrown out the cookout a long time ago because I talk about the people that y'all love so much that's keeping y'all slaves.
More minorities than anybody up here on this hill. But when our military has been attacked, was being attacked after 9/11, after January 6th,
I don't think he said
and
nothing
that was my
else
first day
important.
on the Senate floor. I thought it was outrageous of what senators from the Democratic side, totally against anything to do with racism. But the thing about being a white nationalist is just a cover word for the Democrats now, where they can use it to try to make people mad across the country. Identity politics. I'm totally.
And she's a white nationalist. Ask her if what you want to see happen to America. She's a white nationalist, right? He's a white nationalist, right? Joe Biden is a white nationalist. Donald Trump is a white nationalist, right? They may argue about how they want their nation to look, but ultimately they are all white nationalists. And yes, he has definitely coached a lot of young black males, and we see the effects.
Totally against that. But I'm for the American.
What up, my brother Bobby?
People. I'm for military. I'm for Christian conservatives, Democrats, whoever wants to be in the military to fight for this country, to protect this country. That's what it's all about.
But just to be
clear, that is what it's all about. I'm down for anybody who's trying to fight for what we're trying to do. Oh man, you know what? I probably got it off because it seemed like a good idea, right? But I'm gonna skip to something, right? But you know what? I'm gonna stay on the path because it's gonna tie into both of these things, all right? So I'm gonna stay on the right path, all right? And I really want to just kind of show this one because it's a good reason why the cookout is being banned. I just wanted to play this video. What is, you know.
Dude, we got my first Karen.
You too.
Literally walked into my house.
I know I'm walking to your house.
It's amazing.
And what are you gonna do about it? In words, you know what I'm saying? Like straight walking. This white bitch walked into his house and instead of fearing for his life, pulling out his, you know what I'm saying, thing to protect his family, you know what I'm saying? He pulls out his phone. That's the thing. And he's talking about, hey, this is a Karen coming out of, and I think this is why a lot of cookouts get banned because like your security ain't gonna be worth nothing. You know what I'm saying? They could just walk into your house and you ain't gonna do nothing about it.
I know, it is amazing. And we're gonna report you. I'm now gonna report this to the owner because this is too much. You guys do this all the time.
Feel free.
So if you don't want people to come
Like
in,
she walked in his house, walked upstairs, all that. And then she gonna tell him why it's his fault.
all the time.
Feel free.
So if you don't want people to come in, don't write entrance.
Why do you hate music so
third
much?
floor. Because you guys have been doing this all the time.
Hey, you know, you could have just knocked on the door, rang the doorbell, we would have turned it
Oh,
on.
no. We did. You guys didn't hear it.
Now, the thing is, right, because a sister knocked on that door and she shot through the door and she got away with it. And all I'm saying is somebody come in your house, you know what I'm saying? You have the right to protect yourself and not explain yourself. Like, shut the hell up with this explaining stuff. I fear for my life. This is the most dangerous species in the universe. Why? Because you're going to be like, Miss Ann, if you would have not said N-word, shut that music down, I would have shut it down. But you walked into my slave quarters, you know what I'm saying? This is uncalled for.
The doorbell, we would have turned it on.
Oh, no. We did. You guys didn't hear it.
And that was the direction you chose to take us. Thank you. Have a great night.
This is what I'm saying, Black Megas. Like, and yo, exactly, Oni. She straight walked through this dude's house and he was like, hey, what's going on here? Hey, Miss Ann, you're not allowed here. Instead of saying, oh my God, I'm scared. Bow, 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 bow. And then, you know. But I wanted to show, I think some sisters
will protect me and I will protect my
this person.
They are violent threats. She fired, she hit that woman, her child was standing right there beside her. Oh no, ma'am, this cannot be me at all. And it shouldn't be any more of us. They are violent threats. Handle them accordingly. You have never seen an application of stand your ground so motherfucking fierce as if you tried this with me. You see, I use this filter. Part of the reason is because I've been doxxed.
And he complied with the demands too. That's the funny part. That's why the cookouts had to be canceled. You know what I'm saying? Because we can't even listen to Frankie Beverly as loud as we want to, even though that's all we're gonna do.
Provides a thin layer of protection for you. Because if you spot me in these streets and you walk up to me and you think it's gonna be a Karen encounter, you got another motherfucking thing coming. I promise you, I will bust one in your fucking ass. I will bust one in your ass because I will protect me and I will protect mine. And I know what you are capable of. These are not Karens. Y'all stop treating these violent ass people like they're not violent ass people and handle them accordingly. Protect yourself and your children.
And this is why.
Yeah, Bukari. Yo, what up? What up, Consider? Yo, I showed the thing earlier that I sent to you. You know what I'm saying? Yo, that's a good point, Bukari. That's a very good point. And they're gonna come up to somebody getting slapped in the mouth. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like she said, you know, now she had like this filter and all this stuff on because they trying to dox her and all this stuff, but yeah, they are dangerous. You know what I'm saying? They are a problem. And I wanted to show this because this is another good reason how the cookouts ended up getting messed up. Now, they was like a church got set on fire. And I'm showing this because it goes to both of these last two things go together with the next thing, all right?
Rick Chambers live.
She absolutely right, considering brother just like, hey, what are you doing here, white Miss Ann? You know, if you would have just knocked down and said, shut that music down, N-word, I would have done it. But instead, you know what I'm saying, you walk into my slave quarters.
Silmar with reaction, Rick.
Yeah, Micah, those three crosses have been a spiritual presence in front of this church.
And the thing is, and I don't have to tell you, that was a black dude in the home what to do. Y'all would do that, you know what I'm saying? Because it'll be, but it's not anybody. Y'all is like, listen, we had to cancel the cookouts because of a bunch of reasons, you know what I'm saying?
Have been a spiritual presence in front of this church for years now. In fact, people have been seen kneeling and praying before them, but never any desecration until this week, and of course now culminating with the fire.
I don't think it is a racial hate crime. I think it is more of a Christianity hate crime.
Pastor Pierre, how?
No, he said, I don't think they burnt crosses outside of a black church. And, you know, y'all gonna hear the black and Hispanic thing. But there was a witness that was like, yeah, it was a white boy. Like, yeah, we know that's a mostly black church. It ain't nobody else really in there. And I don't know when y'all seen Hispanics. Maybe y'all live in different areas than me, but like going to black church, because black church is a certain thing in its own rights. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we don't tighten up, then we might get that canceled. You know what I'm saying? Because the cookout after the church is canceled.
Howard talking about someone burning the three crosses in front of his Silmar church.
Yo, what up, Shanique? Yo, it's been a minute. Yo, shouts out to my brother. Yeah, like, yo, I appreciate it. We out there listening.
He's mad at God. He burned the cross. He's not mad at me. He's not mad at our congregation. He's not mad at the African-American congregation. He's not mad at the Hispanic congregation. He's just mad at the
See, maybe this is why you can't, because like even in your places where they used to use these stuff for like military gains and controls, like maybe you need to start getting black men outside the church to protect the meetings. But instead, you like, no, stand aside, you know, come on in, everybody. You know, white boy with the assault rifle, come on into church. We're going to pray with you. And please don't shoot us while we praying. I'm sorry. It's not to say the Christianity thing. It's just to say this. What the hell is it up with this? This is why because our cookouts got infiltrated. You know what I'm saying? This is why we can't protect anything, can't gatekeep anything, you can't commoditize anything, can't protect nothing in it. You know what I'm saying? The little black girl got her finger amputated or cut off, you know what I'm saying? Because they got negligence, and all you could do is go to the news. Like we don't. I guess it's my thing because the higher ups gave me the orders about the cookout got canceled. You know.
He burned the cross. He's not mad at me. He's not mad at our congregation. He's not mad at the African American congregation. He's not mad at the Hispanic congregation. He's just mad at congregations.
The LAPD, part of a federal House of Worship task force, put out this alert this evening asking for the community's help.
It's very shocking and very sad. I'm like,
Comforting symbol at the church for the past 8 years. But vandalism began yesterday when a man,
person who just was drinking too much, who had a bad idea.
He was like, yo, this dude is just mad at God. It was multiple things that he said, you know. He was like, the thing is just mad at God, but maybe you should be mad at, I'm saying, the one he's talking to, because if it's the same one that benefits your enemy and telling you to let everybody into your revival meetings and your plans and your actions and your congregations, like, you know, you're talking about the black and, because, you know, I think it's an automatic thing to say black and Hispanic. I think that's why our cookouts got messed up, you know what I'm saying, got shut down, because y'all can't not let, y'all done kick me out, but y'all done let everybody else in. And, you know, it's no disrespect to this brother, but he would say he's mad at God, you know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying, you know. But if you have the same God as this guy, then you may have to ask yourself some questions, right? Because in Michigan, the courts was like, you know, they have to recognize the white supremacist gangs,
directing the Michigan prisons,
like the KKKs in the prisons, as a religious organization, as a Christian organization. I'm sorry, the same Christian God, or I hope it's not the same God, because if you are doing that, like maybe you need to find a new one, and then maybe we can get back to where we need to be.
System to officially identify Christian identity as a religion.
Two current inmates sued the State Department of Corrections after their chosen religious affinity was denied by prison officials, citing connections to racist and violent ideologies. Our Michael Martin has the story, all new at 6.
On Monday, the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals issued an opinion in a case that was brought initially over a decade ago. Two inmates filed suit against the Michigan Department of Corrections to officially recognize Christian identity as a religion and in turn allow them to worship in a group and eat a specific diet.
If there is something is deemed illegal.
And I'm not saying that something is wrong with that dude, Tommy Tuberville. He should want to preserve his nation. I'm saying you should want to preserve yours too, you know. And so now they are saying that white male Christians are a protected class, or a Christian identity. You know what I'm saying? So I would be careful to make sure that it's not the same exact God as them. You know what I'm saying? Because that God is not working out too well.
Legitimate religion entity, then any action taken by the government against that religion must survive what we call a strict scrutiny analysis.
The MDOC had initially declined to allow the men the ability to hold Christian identity group worships, reasoning it is a religion with tenets of racial segregation and violence. Christian identity has been monitored by watchdog groups like the Anti-Defamation League and Southern Poverty Law Center, who call it an anti-Semitic racist set of beliefs and deal in racial separation. A lower court sided with the Department of Corrections, so the inmates appealed to the Sixth Circuit. Here is their attorney arguing the case in front of the judge's panel back in April.
And so that's what they're saying. Like they got their people into they believe in their systems, right? So they got their people into their systems, and they said, we believe the shysters at the Defamation League and all that other stuff the shysters do is going against our rights, and the judge ruled in their favor, you know what I'm saying, the KKK's favor.
In front of the judge's panel back in April.
Both Fox and Peralt have testified that that other inmates will be allowed to come to that they understand that other inmates will be allowed to come to their worship sessions, and that they wouldn't be just forcing them not to come.
Saying the two inmates will not try and keep non-white inmates from attending their worship sessions.
violence is bad enough in prison, but race-based violence, doubles and triples the negativity of it. Why shouldn't we be giving them some deference in this?
Your Honor, because the plaintiffs, Fox and Peralt, they've testified that while the Christian identity faith, they does advocate for separation of races in terms of marriage and worship, it's not even.
Yeah, well, all that gay stuff is against the Bible is against that. So they would need that to go away anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because they're supposed to be stoned, according to Christians, right? Supposed to be stoned, but
violent faith.
An attorney for the Department of Corrections also shared their concerns for violence if the group is recognized and allowed to gather inside prison.
And so essentially the MDOC took an all or nothing approach. They basically said, we find this religion to be very dangerous, and they didn't present any options for.
They must show that they did so in the least intrusive way possible.
Why aren't you willing to accept the concessions of the two plaintiffs that they are going to allow interrace, interfaith worship? You're allowed to say evidence develops after that shows violence occurred, people were excluded. Voila, you have.
All right, so y'all get the point, right? I'll play this one, right? Just because it's summer. I was gonna play something else here, right? I don't know what it was. Yo, what up, my brother Everett? It's been a minute.
Group called Christian Identity. That is a religious group within a.
Now, I'm not saying that they're right or wrong or judging them or any. I don't even give a damn about them, right? Now, my thing is because I want the cookouts back too. I like Frecky Beverly. I like, what I'm saying, what go on at the cookouts. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you should stop inviting everybody to your stuff and calling it quote unquote the same thing as them, because they protect and gatekeep whatever their culture is. That's why they're white nationalists. You know what I'm saying? They understand how it works. They understand if you have a little girl and her finger get cut off in the door, it got to be some damn consequences, right? Or you have an Arab beat up a little boy, and first of all, the people who ain't do nothing, that's a problem too. But that dude ain't leaving unscathed, let's just say. They understand that they have to build gates around their culture to protect themselves, right? They don't mean nothing about doing business, doing trade. It's hard to do business and trade when you don't even know who is in when you have no gates up, right? Because everybody could be you. Anybody could be you. You let anybody into your circles, into your cookouts. You know what I'm saying? And at the end, it straight bites you in the butt.
Within the prison systems, they're saying basically they're all white Christian group. Now, what they said is they're not going to stop people from other races from coming there, but what they're saying is they're going to be preaching white history, Christianity as it appeals to the white race, things of that nature. Now, even the corrections department is saying, I don't think y'all should be doing it. I don't think
it's 2023, for God's sakes.
I don't think we should really be recognizing them as an actual group, a religious group at that, because that grants them certain rights, certain privileges as a group. Plus, they're already saying, they're not saying no black people, but they're saying no black people, no Indian people, no Mexicans, no nothing, no Asians, nothing, just all white men.
Oh yeah, I can't. Yeah, I can't even turn it up. But that's the end of it. But he was just saying they saying because of quote unquote law, no, but we know what this group is about. You know what I'm saying? They're about the protection of the white male or the white boy. You know what I'm saying? Because they realize the situation, right? They realize that they have to fend for themselves and do what they have to do, even in a situation like in prison, but that works just like that in the real world, right? Where they understand that it's time to do what you have to. You cannot let all of these issues build up so that we can't even help the people that we care about and love, and we just sitting there powerless to help them. You know what I'm saying? Especially when we don't build gates around it. You know what I'm saying? And we praying to the same God as them. All right, yo, I have to show y'all this, right? Because it kind of goes with this, but I have to show you this, right? Because it goes with like, yo, this is why the cookout got canceled. I really believe this may have been the breaking point. Look, I want you to look at the winners of the traditional Negro spiritual voice competition. The Negro spiritual competition. Look who the winners are. And this is who we talk about when we bring up HBCUs, when we talk about the hood, when we talk about the corporate black dudes, when we talk about the MGTOWs, when we talk about every other group. Who we think the winners are. It's crazy. I think this is the monkey that broke the camel's back.
Let me compose myself. Okay. So the Black Classical Artists of Louisville organization put on a traditional Negro spiritual vocal competition. And let me show y'all the winners. I'm sorry. At some point you just have to laugh.
Louisville Black Classical Artist, you know what I'm saying? These are the winners of the Negro spiritual thing, you know.
This stuff, like, whole thing is a mess. Everybody is guilty, right? And I want to talk about this from the perspective of a Black classical musician. Now, if you didn't know, I played the violin for a very long time. I played it all throughout college, once a year to play the violin, etc., 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 right? So I'm going to in music, right? And I'm bringing that up because I decided to go on this organization's basically 30. So 30% of this picture, 2 out of the 7 people in the picture is white. Go ahead and do the math. 2 divided by 7 times 100. That's 28.5%. Basically 30. So 30% of the Black Classical Artists of Louisville organization is white. That's what you're telling me? But did I take a moment to actually put myself in these people's shoes? Because it's lack of Black classical musicians. I've been there. I understand it. There have been many times where I was the only Black person in an orchestra, or maybe there was 2 or 3 of us in a whole big full orchestra, right? This is my thing though. Why on earth would your solution to the problem of the lack of Black classical musicians be to let white people into the organization? And even go so far as to let them win a Negro spiritual contest. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is my thing.
Yo, it's gonna be a white boy saying, it's gonna be, what's that white dude that y'all love so much? There's a couple of them. The white boy with the curly hair, he gonna be singing Frankie Beverly next, and then y'all gonna just say, hey, this is good enough. You know, this is what I'm talking about.
If y'all couldn't find nobody,
that's probably why the cookout got canceled before we let Frankie Beverly get taken over by a white person. Like, cause y'all be tripping sometimes.
In Louisville to compete in this Negro spiritual competition, then you could have posted on social media and be like, hey, look, we're gonna open up the applicant pool. You ain't gotta live in Louisville, but you gotta be African American to be singing these Negro spirituals. You could have done something, anything other than, yo, like, what? How about?
All right, yo, I'm gonna stop here, right? Because I did like further research, and I want you to hear the Negro spiritual that I guess this was the first place winner here. This was the first place winner, the white boy who won. This is the Negro spiritual. All right. So this is his thing, and this 2 months ago that I guess his mom, his name is like Matt Taylor or some nonsense, and his mom Angela Taylor. And like I said, man, Jesus.
My name is Max Taylor, and I will sing Apesar of by
Yo, y'all gotta hear the Negro spiritual before y'all make any judgments. All right, that's all I'm gonna say. All right, because y'all gonna let Justin Timberlake is at the cookout. I know. I'm sorry to inform him. One of y'all gonna have to inform him. It's not my job. It's only my job to let y'all know what they said about the cookout. You know what I'm saying? John Mayer or whoever the hell y'all like. I don't know. NSYNC or something else. Yo, no, check out the Negro spiritual. Before we make any judgments, y'all, let's listen to the Negro spiritual that won. It's gonna be at the next cookout. That's why we had to cancel it before he's singing this at the next cookout. For you, Erica. Yo, and we do. Yeah, I missed it, Bukari. Yo, highly favorite facts. He said, "Black folks will cheer white boys singing, 'We are one,' Bob Mays." All you gotta do is just hit it close enough. Not even like them, but like, you know what I'm saying? Oh man, don't let them sing like Southern Girl or something like. Oh man, y'all gonna be throwing y'all panties on the stage, like. But this is the new Negro spiritual here. You know what I'm saying? He was like, it's a classic. He's like, Negro spiritual. Somebody explain this. Y'all crazy. Well, yo, Oni, you know the first Italians was black, so. Oh yeah, don't forget about Eminem. Eminem is the best rapper alive, apparently. The Catholic thing. Y'all crazy. Yo, this is the culmination of rap and the blues and Negro spirituals and church songs and all. This is the combination of this. This shit got 2.2K views. They only got 21 subscribers. They probably heard about this recently, probably because of it, like doing what I did, like looking it up. And it got 16 comments. But no, this one like 2 weeks ago. No, it was before. So I don't know if they heard about it through them. It's from 2 months ago though. And it got 2.2K. A little bit more of the Negro spiritual, right? Y'all telling me y'all wouldn't listen to that? Like, yo, that's the Negro spiritual of the year right there. We got to give this white boy a scholarship. It's a must. And you know the spirituals, it's related to the Christian thing, so I'll spare y'all the rest. All right. So this is the scholarship he won though, right? So check it out, right? So this William Tollenberg Wittenberg Scholarship for Performance Arts for young artists, a one-time scholarship to grant you get up to $15,000 to pursue performing arts. You know what I'm saying? I think this is the scholarship that you win by winning the Negro spiritual. And so I think is an actual thing that you win, like a grant for $15,000. You know what I'm saying? Which a thing that we desperately need. I don't care if you go into college by singing Negro spirituals. We do it at the cookout all the time. You know what I'm saying? I went to Juneteenth festival. We was jamming. We gonna jam, that's for sure. But it's a thing that you can it's a thing that you get. You know. The comments was saying. Nah, they was making fun of him. It was like a Negro spiritual, you know what I'm saying? They like, what the hell is going on? Everybody like, what the hell is going on? Somebody like, delete this. You know, I had to delete my first comment because like, what the, you know what I'm saying? It's called Traditional Negro Spiritual. Just look up the Traditional Negro Spiritual Voice Competition first place winner, and you're gonna see who won. Good old Max Taylor. Right, he won this scholarship. So based off that, and I wanted to show you something. Right now, speaking of this, you know, and this was from a while ago. All right, so it's from 2017. It was like Black History Month Traditional Negro Spiritual Voice Competition. These are the 8 previous winners back in 2017. The previous winners of the Negro spiritual competition. That's what I'm saying. Yo, that's why the cookout got canceled, MG2, because we don't know just the truth about him. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause, you know, the truth about him, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause, you know, the truth about him, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause, you know, the truth about him, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause, you know, the truth about him, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause, you know, the truth about him, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause, you know, the truth about him, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause, you know, the truth about him, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause, you know, the truth about him, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause, you know, the truth about him, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause, you know, the truth about him, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause, you know, the truth about him, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause, you know, the truth about him, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause, you know, the truth about him, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause, you know, the truth about him, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause, you know, the truth about him, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause, you know, the truth about him, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause, you know, the truth about But you know, these are the previous 8 winners of those $15,000 scholarship. You know what I'm saying? And I just had to throw this in because this is the singing a Negro spiritual, a modern Negro spiritual. All right, to get us readjusted.
They trying to kill us. Look how thick this anesthesia is. A bitch is woozy. They try.
It's the modern day Negro spiritual. How uncomfortable this flight on this airplane is. Not the real truth, you know what I'm saying? All right. So I'm gonna show some more, then I'm gonna get off of here. And I'll put the link in for y'all to come on here real quick. So I'll go through the rest of this really quick, you know what I'm saying? Because I have to let, you know what I'm saying, the white girl get her speak in for the last, you know what I'm saying, cookout, because you know she's the lead organizer probably of the cookout. Yo, Bakari, come up here and sing Wade in the Water if you want to. And Bakari will start singing about the drinking gore. The first stanza, yeah. Yo, that's why I played Jill Scott earlier. That was a Negro spiritual, you know what I'm saying, that they was pissed about, you know, the Negro national anthem. All right. Let me let the organizer of the last cookout speak, you know, well, until we get it together. I'm not gonna say it's done forever, but I think they said before we let Frankie Beverly get taken over, you know what I'm saying, and let them perform like Holly Favor said, we are one, and you know, let them be Earth, Wind, and Fire and stuff like that. You know, they was like, yo, we need to take a break on the cookouts and get it together a little bit, you know. Like, God forbid, you know, our children aren't protected in daycares and schools, you know what I'm saying? Let's never mind that part. That's not important enough, you know.
I see a lot of people talking about the affirmative action ruling, and there's a lot of people pointing out that white women were actually some of the biggest.
Right. Exactly. See, that's what they don't understand about what they don't know what the Negro spiritual is. That's why a white boy won a scholarship by singing the Negro spiritual, you know what I'm saying?
Beneficiaries of affirmative action, and so people are kind of now.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely our fault. That's why we got the cookout canceled, Erica. We can't protect ourselves. You would think I could say like the important stuff and we'd be like, oh yeah, I get it now. But no, it's not true. You know what I'm saying? I can't do that. I have to say this kind of stuff to laugh to keep from crying. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just a manifestation of a psychological problem that we got, because we sick in the head, you know what I'm saying? We act like B words. That's what it said on the memo, you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to go through what it could be. It said the cookout has been temporarily you know, excommunicated because we act like B words, you know what I'm saying? And they didn't say B words. They said, you know, we act like bitches.
Beneficiaries of affirmative action, and so people are kind of naturally.
They don't know. Yeah, y'all got to come on here and sing y'all Negro spirituals, you know what I'm saying? And it's probably an Eminem verse, MG2. That's the Negro spiritual that, not y'all, but I'm saying the majority of black folk in the world know.
Asking like, well, like, why did conservative white women vote for things that would take away, people who would take away things that are benefiting them? And I think that there's some things to be discussed here that we don't really talk about very often. One of those things is that regardless of party, white women will.
No, I'm not gonna let y'all cheat. Y'all don't understand. I could tell you a Negro spiritual right now, but I'm not gonna cheat for y'all. Y'all should know these things. You know what I'm saying?
The vast.
You know what a Negro spiritual is? When Nas was like, you know, I busted you, your jaw, run up. He was like, I ran through the building lobby. It was full of children, probably couldn't see as high as I be. That's a Negro spiritual today.
majority of the time vote whiteness over gender, because we can still receive the runoff of the benefits that white men get.
Yeah, definitely MG2.
Or give themselves when they're in power. So,
all right, let me stop cutting her off. I'm sorry, Miss Ann, organizer of the final cookout until we get our ish together.
When they're in power. So white families will still benefit, and we might not make the same amount of money that white men make, and we might have our right to choose.
Pretty much like the first verse, Fukari. Like the first part of the song.
Birth when we want to, ripped away, but we will still always be the beneficiaries of white men in power. And so when we look at the way white men have structured our society to treat people who aren't white, we think, well, I don't want that. Like, this isn't great, but it's not that. And so
I'm sorry, because I cut her off. She was telling you why white bitches is always going to be white bitches and not anything else.
To choose birth when we want to, ripped away, but we will still always be the beneficiaries of white men in power. And so when we look at the way white men have structured our society to treat people who aren't white, we think, well, I don't want that. Like, this isn't great, but it's not that. And so because we don't really talk about that very often, because that requires people to like dig underneath and really like acknowledge privilege to talk about how racist they are. And this applies to liberal women as well. We
white nationalists, I like to call them,
will continuously see women, even liberal women, voting against their own interests because their primary identifier is white, and the thing that gives them the most privilege in this country is their relationship to white men. And the interesting part about that, even beyond this, is that white men kind of, as a whole, only really care for white women to the extent of what we can do for them. So the whole dynamic is like pretty up, but yeah, just something that I don't think we really talk about.
Yeah. Oh, it's like a chorus. Yeah, they do, you know what I'm saying? Because but if we recognize that, then how could we have given these white people this award, you know what I'm saying? But they talk about how they stay on code. Is that it's the chorus, okay. All right, so yo, and speaking of this, and this is the last thing I'll show them. I'm sorry for showing this, right? But I wanted to, because what happens once you let them into the cookout, you know what I'm saying, and the stuff that they do. But white bitch Britney Spears going for the NBA rookie guard, you know.
That breaking news that we talked about, both Britney Spears and, of course, that top rookie in the NBA, the back and forth there. Maggie Vespa is following the story. Maggie, full disclosure, we had you up. Your shot went down like 3 minutes ago. We scrambled a bit, so let me just make sure. But if not, security guard for Victor Wembanyama, who people say is like maybe the next LeBron, like mega super NBA star rookie. Wemby's coming out and saying like, hey.
Yeah, down by the riverside, yeah. Ezekiel saw at the wheel, Joshua the battle of Jericho. Yeah. And we used to have to sing them in like preschool when I was going to I went to a place called Sixth Baptist. It was a church. We used to have to sing that kind of stuff then. Yeah, they all benefit. They all are white nationalists, though. You know what I'm saying? All of them, the liberals, the other ones, you know what I'm saying? They are all white nationalists. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, he didn't really see it. He doesn't know what really happened, but he wasn't tapped. He was grabbed. What is the deal?
So it feels like the curveball that happened with our live shot kind of mirrors the chaos of this story, right? I mean, those statements really coming out, the video clip with Wembanyama and Britney Spears' statement coming out just in the last hour or so. And by the way, this all happened last night. So both of these major stars, these world-class investigations that she has a
Now, he had to answer the question because he was at a basketball camp, and, you know, they told him, like, Negro, do what you gotta do.
Very distinct kind of take on what happened. She says she saw Wembanyama. She recognized him in the restaurant of her hotel. She says, I simply tapped him on the shoulder. His security then, she wrote, backhanded me in the face without looking back in front of a crowd. nearly knocking me down and causing my glasses. And then she just has off my face. She added, I was swarmed by a group of at least 20 fans earlier in the night.
All right. I wanted to play. This is a video of what happened here. She says he smacked her.
Who did?
So that was the smack. But this is what she said about it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sorry, this is the last cookout, and y'all invited them in, not me. I didn't invite them in. We wouldn't even know who Britney Spears is if y'all didn't do this.
With you guys, an incident that happened in Vegas that a lot of
Here we go. I'll play one more time, Black Vegas, and see if you can catch the smack.
Who did?
Well, this is what she had to say.
people are talking about. And I heard on the news, this radio station talking smack and talking, that's why I'm addressing it, saying that I deserve to be smacked. Security was doing their job and protecting their client. I've been with the most famous people in the world.
He said she deserved to be slapped. She should have got slapped though. And she was like, back up off this young brother. You know what I'm saying? White bitch, you.
Protecting their client.
That's what I'm saying. This is good old Britney Spears. You see how quickly she reverted to form. You know what I'm saying? Now you're gonna be at the cookout and you're gonna say something that's gonna piss the white girl off, and then she gonna call the police and everybody going to jail. You know what I'm saying? Because yeah, they're going to revert to say, like the white bitch said earlier.
Their job and protecting their client. I've been with the most famous people in the world. In sync at one time, girls would like literally throw themselves at them. On my way into the place, actually, I was knocked down by like 3 12-year-olds trying to get my picture. My security not one time touched them or even came near them. Point being is, I didn't appreciate the people saying that I deserve to be hit, because no woman ever deserves to be hit. I simply tapped him on the back and I was back.
No, that's some white bitches deserve to be slapped in the face. Let's just be real.
Or deserves to be hit. I simply tapped him on the back and I was backhanded, hit my face, came back on the floor. My best friend picked me up and held me. And I did get an apology at my table.
See, I don't know what Negro Spirituals is. Negro Spirituals is what Max was singing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the Negro Spiritual of the year. All right, I'm gonna play this to be the last. And look, if y'all, I'm gonna put the link in, but I don't have much time. So if y'all come on here, I'm not gonna try to cut y'all off, but you know, I don't got that much time. But I want to play this, right? Because it ties in. This is why we got kicked out. This is why the cookouts got canceled too. Right? Because listen to what he says. This good old Christian. It goes back to all that.
But this video here is an exception to the rule. When I first heard it, it disturbed my spirit. Because
it's 2023.
We must love all people, all nationalities.
We must love everybody. We must invite everybody to the cookout. But it got canceled because y'all is tripping. But y'all is swearing that y'all gotta love every damn body. I don't get it. What in the hell is wrong with you? You don't even love yourself. You gotta love yourself first. You can do business with anybody, but you talking about some damn love.
We must love all people, all nationalities, all colors, all different backgrounds, ethnic backgrounds, all people.
This message is for
We
Jason,
should still be
Jason Nicholas.
discriminating
I've been
against
listening
and
to him on
harboring
Fox.
hate
You know,
inside
this
of
fucking
us and
nigga, you
letting hate
niggas are not going to be
spoil
satisfied until you
inside of
change
our
every
bodies,
fucking piece of shit holiday
inside
to
of our
nigga
heart.
day. Okay, you can have it. Let's
We
change
must
Martin Luther
love
King,
people.
nigga day.
Oh my
Kristen,
It's
God.
time
nigga
to
day.
wake up.
Columbus. I mean, how many people did they kill? The fucking camel niggas. How many fucking niggas that were killed in Africa by other niggas? Huh? You tell me that. How about the trafficking, nigga trafficking of young children? What about that, you fucking piece of shit? You're unbelievable. You people, you niggas are unbelievable. I mean, it's just, you blame everybody else for your demise. And
I
you know
know,
what?
honey.
You love to get a bleeding heart because that's how you survive, by playing the fucking victim. You people cannot live in a
We must love everybody, Oni. That's what you not understanding. That's the message of this video. Y'all done got cookouts canceled because of this nonsense. I got kicked out. I know I got kicked out, but I like the cookouts too. But y'all on y'all love everybody nonsense that got the cookouts canceled. Right? I'm just giving you the message, right? And I'm just giving you my speculation about why, because it said you act like I say B words. They didn't say B words, right? It say y'all act like bitches, or I'm included too. The Coon chips have been activated, and we must love the hate out of their souls.
civilized society because
Oh yeah, salute my brother Rashid. What up, my brother? Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that. I got you.
And you're uncivilized. 50% of the murders, over 50% of the murders in this country are committed by fucking niggas, and there's only like, what, 15% of you people? You know, you don't belong here. You fucking don't belong. The rest of you fucking assholes are either working for the state, working for the college, working for the government, working, or working for the cities, and I'm paying for you. You're either fucking on welfare, looting me on fucking welfare. What the fuck do you niggas do all day on fucking welfare? Or you work for a fucking college, and I'm still fucking paying for you. It's sickening. You're fucking sickening. 50 years of affirmative action that I couldn't even get a job because of you fucking niggas. I was almost raped by a fucking piece of shit nigger in a ladies' room in a restaurant. My cousin, 21, a fireman, defended the housing project where you fucking animals live. He was.
What is this? A black YouTube video? Like, what he was listening to? Y'all arguing or something? It sounds like stuff y'all be saying to me.
Murdered by a fucking nigger. You people are disgusting. You don't belong here. You belong in Africa where all the jungle monkeys are. Let's face it. I was a probation officer. I saw it for my own. I heard 18, 19-year-old girls coming to me. They were picked up for worthless checks. You know what? Their mommies told them, you better get yourself fucking pregnant because you got to bring in fucking money. Then I worked with high-risk babies. I worked with a black couple that was very rich in the community. And she told me, all these fucking female niggas are looking to get pregnant by my son because, we're rich in this area and they want support. You fucking assholes. You don't belong. Your IQ level is so low. Statistically, white people have higher IQs than you people.
We have to love this white bitch here and invite her to. Y'all ain't gonna invite her to the cookout, but we have to love her and educate her and explain to her why what she's saying is wrong. Or you can recognize she's the most dangerous white bitch in the universe and not get mad at me for saying white bitch,
Fucking son of a bitches. All you do is play the victim. The Asians come in here, they get out of the fucking ghetto. The Russians come here, they get out of the fucking ghetto. You fucking assholes, what are you, that stupid? You can't even fucking get out of the ghetto? You love it because you like to do your drugs. You like to live in filth. Let's face it. That's who you are. You are jungle monkeys, and there's not. Look at Chicago. 18,000. Look at that. 3,000-4,000 murders. You fucking people killing one another. You niggas are killing. You don't see white people doing that.
Yo, she in the last cook. This is the last cookout, so she's definitely in there. She got the last word.
Niggas, you're killing one another. You don't give a shit. And you know what? You fucking niggas sold your own kind into slavery. Who the fuck do you think sold you into slavery? The niggas in Africa. Hello. Get real. Get into realizations. Put your fucking drugs down. Stop stealing from me as a white person. Stop looting me. That's all you fucking niggas did. Affirmative action. You know, come on, 50 years of affirmative action. I couldn't get a job because of you fucking niggas. And then I see the niggas that they hire. They couldn't even fucking write their name. I worked in a pre-apprenticeship.
To respond to this message, press 1. To delete, press.
It was making maybe $10
They're like, oh, let me get another one.
more a week than they were giving these 35 people, 23 years old, an affiliation with the union. So Carpenters
Oh
Union.
yeah, she's at the cookout, Miss Beta. That's what I'm saying. That's probably why I got his I didn't cancel it. I was there at the cookout too. I was singing Frankie Beverly with the rest of y'all. You know what I'm saying? And what's his name? I don't know, Robin Thicke or somebody. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Or Bobby Caldwell or something. You know what I'm saying? He's black. Or hell, Bill Clinton's playing the saxophone. They all at the cookout. You know what I'm saying? And this is the voicemail you get afterwards. Thanks you get.
Painted Jews, the 30 blacks and 5 whites, okay? All right. I was making $10 more than they were a week, and I had my master's, okay? So I gave up my time and my effort. That's why I know what's going on, because I deal with niggas. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. Do you know, after a week, 30 of the niggas never showed up. The 5 whites did. This is a pre-apprenticeship program trying to get the GED, and I was a teacher in Consul. I was a good person. I didn't feel the way I did. The more you deal with niggas, the
First rifleman probably listen to her all the time.
more you're disgusted with them. But anyway, none of these niggas showed up, right? And I asked them very nicely. I said, why aren't you all coming again? Ours don't work for chump change.
She said, I don't work for chump change. You heard her.
But anyway, none of these niggas showed up, right? And I asked them very nicely. I said, why
Because y'all invited her to the cookout, only. That's why.
why aren't you all coming again? Ours don't work for chump change. Ours don't work for chump change. That's what they told me, these niggas. Ours don't work. And they're going to do this again. That piece of shit Obama's going to do this again. Don't you understand? This is over a 20-year period I'm talking about.
All right. I'll spare y'all the rest. Okay, then. But this is why we playing it.
An exception to the rule. When I first heard it, it disturbed my spirit because we must love all people.
We must love everybody. We must invite all to the cookout. We must go around the world educating people and teaching them how to take baths. We must give away our trades and secrets. We must work for them and give away all of our talent, our influence, our athleticism, our knowledge, our smarts. We must love them. And that's what got the cookout canceled in the first place. So we had to hear that, you know what I'm saying? And I'll do this. I'll put the link in the chat. I know I'll be all over the place. All right. You know what I'm saying? So y'all just had to hear that. This is the last cookout, and this is your last chance to get to hear that. Who you invited to the cookout. Yeah. Yeah, she take that out on black men. Yeah, of course. We all take everything out on black men. Well, y'all invited her, not me. I didn't. I got kicked out. I got kicked out the cookout. You know what I'm saying? Y'all kicked me out. But that's probably why they got banned, because y'all don't know how to. I don't care if it's, you know, this or not protecting your daughter or nothing. You know what I'm saying? In the situation they in. So I'll play this, and then I'll play one last thing to give y'all time to come on here if it works, because now my computer going. I'm glad it didn't even mess up, but now it's starting to mess up. And like I said, if you come on here, yeah, you just keep it to the top, because I don't want to go on all night, and you know I don't want to cut you off, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, I know YouTube be hating all the time, bro. They even hide y'all comments, so like I can't approve them or nothing. All right. So last thing I'm gonna show while I give y'all time, if y'all want to come on here, is this. I'll spare y'all the rest of that. Right? I don't want the cookout, the last cookout, to end until further notice. But damn, y'all be tripping, right? I want to play this. First, I'll play this, right?
And descendants that were sold into slavery.
We come in humility and brokenness to repent.
And my brother Bobby brought up this, so I wanted to play this. You know what I'm saying?
For the sins of the leaders in Africa, and in particular, the sin of selling our own brothers and sisters into slavery. This great sin brought untold pain and misery to millions of people of African descent, and judgment to the African people who remained on the continent. The grave sin of slavery scattered our people all over the face of the earth, where they have suffered great deprivations and loss. If it were
all right, and I'm only cutting it off because it's not a lot of time, but I'm gonna also play this, right? Because you don't have to follow her, but I'm just saying do your own research as far as like.
Hey friends, what's up? I want to share with you really quickly on the wealth, because some of you guys have no clue. You don't understand what's going on. And although I've been
I got you, Black Magus. Let me play the it's these ones because all of these ones are short, and I'm gonna let you up and let you
talking about it, you still don't get it. So maybe this article will allow you to really understand the type of generational wealth that is being generated out of Africa mineral sector. So this is a press release from one of our neighbors, one of our several billion-dollar mining companies that surround us. This is Lumwana Copper Mine, and they say that they are announcing plans to transform Lumwana Copper Mine into a Tier 1 asset with a mining life exceeding beyond 2060. The Tier 1 asset has a reserve potential of greater than 5 million tons of copper. Hello, can someone do that math for me and put it in the chat? The mine currently has a 2.3 million tons of copper in its reserve. Please put that math in the chat for me too. Barrick Gold Corporation President Chief Executive Officer Mark Bristol says that Barrick refocused its strategy in Africa in 2019, making Lumwana mine a key element in expansion of its strategic copper portfolio. During a press briefing at Lumwana mine, Mr. Bristol said the country is in a much better position economically following the recent debt restructuring. Hey friends, what's up? I want to share with you really quickly.
Okay, my bad. Real quick, Black Magus, this part is like less.
So Mark told journalists that the debt restructuring deal has given investors confidence to invest in Zambia. Mr. Bristol says the successful negotiations of Zambia's debt has given Barrick Lumwana mine confidence in the country's policies. He says that the debt restructuring and the economic policies that have been put in place by the government has placed the country on an upward trajectory, which is focused on attracting more investors in the mining sector. Okay, guys, this is a beautiful.
All right, and I wanted to play that. And last joint I'm gonna play, just because I think this maybe I'm gonna just play it because y'all.
The British have never faced justice. That is why they still run around the world pretending to tell us what to do. You know, one of the most painful statements that I ever heard in my life was from a former British Prime Minister, Tony Blair, when he said that Africa is a scar on the conscience of the world. How dare he? It is because we have never asked them to answer for their atrocities. The day they do, they will know that we are truly hungry. They have never. And that is why some of us are very serious about this whole idea of reparations and proper apology. They have never apologized.
Yeah, so some of us are going to cry to them, Yo, Black Magus, MG2. What up, y'all? What up, Raw? Shouts out to Raw in the building. What's going on, y'all? What up, Black? What up, Black Magus? I think you was on. You there?
Habibi Fahodie, Black Liberation.
All right. And what up, my brother?
Yo, man. Forecast, you be I think somebody had put it in the chat, man. You be finding the most random videos, but you make your points well established with those random videos. Oh man. I don't even know where to start at, but to keep it on topic, if we keep running to these folks for acceptance, and it's to the point where we're not looking for white acceptance, and I don't like saying we because that means me as well, but black people, some black people are running for that acceptance, but it's not for white acceptance. You know, sometimes it's for I want to be recognized scholastically, or culinary arts, entertainment wise, sport wise. It's just that it's always a white person who holds the keys to your success. So they go hand in hand, where the person isn't really seeking white acceptance, but you have to get white acceptance in order to be accepted. So as Carter G. Woodson even writes, we get to the point where some black people just know that the goal is to aspire to be white, even though they know that they will never be white, and you keep all others subservient to you to protect your masters. And that's what we see a lot of these Negroes do, because ain't nowhere in the world you're gonna have the Negro spiritual contest and you let these apes in. Bakari, we let them apes in. They the real apes. Look at them damn lips. They look just like monkey lips. Um, you let them barge into your house, black man? Like, are we serious? Do they have that much power? I've heard somebody say before, stop calling them Karens, because Karen is an actual beautiful female name. Call them what they are. And this sister here, she laid it out pretty plain. Like, call them what they are. They're aggressors, and you need to deal with aggressors appropriately. Um, as I always say, man, drop them hammers. I'm sorry, drop the cameras and pick up the hammers. Like, yo, don't just let these folk walk up on you, and now you gotta stop, pull out your phone, find whatever video app you want to put them on, and then go ahead on wait for your live feed to actually start up so that people could see you trying to publicly shame somebody when they 100% emasculating you on camera. But you think that you're shaming them. They're shaming you, and you don't even understand that you're the joke. This stuff is it's not comical, man. I don't even like saying that you gotta laugh to keep from crying. We've been laughing for too long, and we have let countless comedians come out to bring black suffrage to the comedy stage to let everybody else laugh at it. Well, if they laugh at it, then we should be able to laugh at it too, right? If black people can laugh at their own pain, then we should be able to laugh at it. And so that's what we're looking at. We are not taken serious at all because we constantly dehumanize ourselves. We dehumanize ourselves by allowing the conditions, by allowing the transgressions, by allowing people to verbally attack us, physically attack us, spiritually attack us, economically attack us, every sort of way that they can. And because there's no pushback, then we see it constantly happens on and on and on. And nobody ever does anything about it because everybody's looking for a leader. We got to stop being so frightful of what the hell is going to happen to us. Gang up in our communities. I don't care if it's just you and your cousins, you, Pookie and Ray Ray, Keisha, Watermelon Nika, whatever. Yo, two of you together is bigger and badder then I'd say 5 of them. We got to stop being some damn cowards around here.
Yeah, I agree with that. And first off, pass it to MG2. Shouts out to Shanique in the building. And MG2, my bad earlier. I know I was listening to what you were saying, and you was spot on too earlier. So like, but yeah, I appreciate you coming on. What's going on, MG2?
Man, just hanging in there. Peace to everyone. Peace to the family of BB Hodie. One of the things that I wanted to say there, Brother Forecast, and it starts with the spirituals. I grew up in a family that toward the country singing spirituals, but it was even before that. And the thing is I can't complain about what my competitor does if I'm not out there to compete or even know what he's competing about. Here's what I mean. The reason I had to put that out there in the chat about the spirituals, because we like to clown folks, but the bigger clowns are the ones who have something to say about someone who's taken their culture and they don't know their culture that they're taking. Clearly, that's why I had to put those spirituals in there. The thing is that I noticed, Brother Forecast, and I've seen it for at least 60 years, is unfortunately we have basically dry cleaned our brains responding to what our enemies are doing, i.e., not recognizing that it's a tool or a weapon that we can use. That little Anglo, that simian that you played at the end, that gorilla you played at the end, I'm so glad that we're living rent-free in her head. Because clearly Africans are. I mean, somebody is living rent-free in her head for her to have over 10 minutes of diatribe where, unfortunately the brother took it as a personal affront to him because, he felt he loves all people. Whereas that right there is an opportunity and a weapon right there. I mean, what she did is basically put all her cards on the table and who she is, what she does, what she thinks. Whereas that to me, as someone who likes to gamble once in a while, play blackjack, that's a winning hand for me. When the dealer shows you all his cards, you know exactly what to play. And the thing is a lot of us don't recognize this, so we'll take it as an affront to our own personal self-validation called an ego, whereas we should take it as, oh, thank you, Anglo, for letting me know how you feel. Thank you, Anglo, for going ahead and trying to be, carbon copies of our Negro spirituals. In other words, they just dropped basically a lot of tickets on our doorstep. It's how do we respond to go ahead and win the game against them? Whether they're singing our songs or whether they're going ahead and telling us how we feel, doesn't matter. They're showing their cards on the table there, Brother Forecast. And like I said, I've seen it for over 60 years. The thing is, unfortunately, many of us and this so-called social media where we've actually dry cleaned our brains are taking it as something very temporary and not using it as what it should be. And that's a weapon and a tool. I'll pass the mic.
Yeah, that's a fact, MG2. And not to put it like this, you know what I'm saying, but I don't think we're gonna learn until we see Robin Thicke singing, you know what I'm saying, other Frankie Beverly, you know what I'm saying, before I let go at the cookout, you know what I'm saying. It's a reason why I had to get banned, because we sick in the head. What's up going on, Shanique?
Hey, Forecast. So glad I caught this show. You know what? It's hard to follow that. Those two brothers just now put it out there. And I don't want to be the person to say that we're the problem, but we're the problem. Okay, because if we're allowing everything that we do, no matter in what form, whether it be our music, our art, our dance, our fashion, to be duplicated, assimilated, and used, and then turned back against us and said that maybe, we never did it at all, then who do we have to be upset with when it all comes full circle? Like, I don't want to be the person that's angry, and I don't think I am that person, but there's a certain thing that we can be austere. We can be austere when we're interacting with people that are not us, because we seem to find a way to do that with our own people. So I think we can try to use that in other areas. The idea that someone could not be Black and do a Negro spiritual competition, it is insane to me. because I don't see Polynesian people having Polynesian dances with Caucasians coming in and winning or competing. Indian people from India, like this is not a thing. China, it's not a thing. Traditional garb from other places we just allow it to be duplicated. And hey, you can have, like you said, you can come to the cookout. No, we're not serving any food. We're not serving anything. There's no cookout. Maybe we need to be a little more private about everything that is us. And that comes with, and I'm going to go on, I'm going to say it. It goes with the brothers too, because you have to start being a little less liberal with your seed. Because when you have children with every woman that isn't of your own culture, then it's kind of hard to say, oh, wait a minute, that one can't come to the cookout, but this one can't. Like, you make the waters muddy too. So, and the same for the women that do it. We have to decide that we are the ones that are being erased, and everything about us is being erased, and we have to keep it to ourselves. That's kind of it for me.
Yeah.
Forecast. Can I ask Shanique a question?
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna let you go because I wanted to ask you real quick, and I wanted to say, like it's okay to be mad. What was that word you said? Oh, sneer or what you said?
Me?
You said, yeah, you was like, we shouldn't. We
Oh,
could be
austere. We have to be austere.
What
There's
does that
no
word mean?
kiki. It kind of, you got a firmness about you, a matter of factness that you express in your face. When you see a brother in the street, if another brother comes across him, they're usually not smiling. It's not friendly. It should be, but it isn't. There's a certain austerity. When you come across a white supremacist that you know is but isn't going to say it, he gives you a deadpan. And you kind of get from that energy, oh, this is not the one to speak to. I think we need to be that way because we're allowing too much to slide and slip in. And now we don't even know anything. And like you said, soon Robin Thicke will be, I don't know, pimp of the year. I don't know what, he'll just be black. And we won't know what black is.
Go ahead, Black
crazy.
Megan.
Just real quick though on the music thing, you got to remember that the white record labels still own all of the black music, which is why they always remake movies and have somebody else singing, our old music. I mean, Earth, Wind and Fire, I can't think of one hit Earth, Wind and Fire song that has not been redone by some cracker for a film. So, and I don't want to get too off topic with it, but I want to tie it into what we're talking about. So when Shanique, when you bring it to the brothers, right? We're talking about watch where you spread your seed. That means to take away the self accountability that sisters have, because it is sisters who are the guardians to sex. Men are the guardians to marriage, because it is a woman's body. Yeah, a man can fleece you out of it, and I get that and I understand that, just like men can get fleeced out of marriage. But still, a man has no personal power over a woman's body, so it is upon her who she lets into her bed. When we use that, the brothers throw, or these black males throw their sperm all over the place, it is to say that sisters have no accountability in that. When we do that, what we wind up allowing to happen is more of the diatribe that we're seeing that has caused all of this gender warring with each other, which has made us divided. And because now we're divided, we're seeing as our men and our women are going over to other races for comfort, because this person isn't providing this for me, this person isn't providing that for me, when we all know. This is why I can't stand people who like quoting statistics, because when you quote those statistics, you're always quoting the works of white institutions who have done the reporting on this, and they always use small sampling sizes. So we I feel like we got to kind of get away from that, so that we can always, enforce what's right for each person to do, basically.
Yeah.
Because Khaled.
No, go ahead, Shanique. Go ahead, say what you want to say.
Well, what I meant when I said about spreading the seed, I wasn't speaking to the single Black mothers. I was speaking to the fact that we have a growing population of biracial people. And when you have that, you can't tell the half Black, half white child they can't come to the cookout, is what I mean. And a lot of the getting in is by people that we can say, oh, we're not sure they're not Black, so he can come in. He can come in. Before we know it, it's the not Black friend and all of these. Everyone's invited, and when everyone gets invited, at no point are they saying, "Hey, they said initially that yes, we're just emulating, and it's the highest form of flattery." No, we are taking on. It's the body snatchers. That's what's happening. And the best way that it's happened, it's sad to say, is yes, you do have agency over your body, but men have to determine that I am going to stay in one pool. And that pool has a lot of attitude, and that pool has a lot of issues. That pool is just as damaged as I am, but I'm going to stay in that pool, because if I don't, then the pool changes. And now we're sitting and talking about how everyone's finding a window, a door, a crack in the wall to get into what is our thing. What is us? I mean, it's more than just our thing. It's us. How are we getting pushed out of being Black people? It's crazy.
And Bakari came on here, and because I know I think MG2 wanted to say something before I pass it to Bakari, because Bakari came on here. MG2, you wanted to say something?
I'll listen for a minute.
All right, Bakari, what's going on, my brother?
What's up? Go ahead, because I'm trying to come in on something else. Go ahead, MG2. I'm gonna come in after you, because I'm gonna come back in on my computer, because this phone gonna mess up. Go ahead.
I'd like to ask, because I hear this term all the time. I know what it means theoretically, but in reality, I hear the term invited to the cookout. Now, everybody's going to have their own determination, and as Black folk, we know what it is. Especially, like I said, theoretically or abstractly, we know what that is. But I have to ask the simple question: what is the cookout? Who protects the cookout? Has anyone even, we complain about inviting folks, but who's out there to really do something to actually protect? Who manages? Who created? Who funds? What is the quote unquote cookout? Now, I know we like to talk in abstract euphemisms, but in our reality, it ain't no different than some peckerwoods that could come up and sing your songs. If you don't know those songs, if you're not protecting those songs, then are they really your songs? I've been in the music business and touring with just about every artist you guys know. Yes, people and you buy their records. So I know exactly what a song is, okay? I know what happens when you don't protect the song. There's a book by Eileen Southern called Black Music. Many of you probably never even heard of it and don't even know it exists. But it's a very important thing to determine exactly what a real cookout is. Okay, what we've created, what we have, what we don't. I mean, in our reality, I don't want to say there's a level of duplicity, but when it comes down to it, I'm glad the sister brought up the term of being very austere. Everybody else has their own cookouts, and they're very austere, which is nothing more than conservatism. Protecting your, again, econo-ethnic protectionism. Protect your money, protect your people. Common sense. But when I say that, I like to complain myself, and I say, well, we're inviting this to the cookout and that to the cookout, but really, if you don't own and control, manage, manipulate, protect that quote unquote cookout, it ain't yours in the first place. And I don't want to put water in your parade, but I got to be real. Really, I mean, when it comes down to it, I like to ask that question. And I'd like to get a non-abstract answer, something definitive, something I can touch, taste, smell, see, hear. What really is the cookout? And what have you done to go ahead and own that so-called cookout? I'll pass the mic.
Yeah, and before I pass it to Bakari, MD2, that's part of probably the reason why they sent down the memo that it got canceled, because we don't know how to commoditize it. You know what I'm saying? We don't know how to make money off of it. We don't know how to protect it. We don't know how to do anything. Like I said, like if we sitting here still talking about people of color and we can't protect the little girl and her finger got severed in the door and we sit there and go run to the news, you know what I'm saying? What do we have a right to sing and dance other people that's getting paid more than us for the same songs that you're just talking about? They making all the money from it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we are going, like, when I say that, I'm saying like how we sit here and be like people of color, when we say we need to do this and that, people would be like, well, they find all of these reasons not to. You know what I'm saying? No, he's definitely not dissing. That's a very legitimate question. What is the cookout? Which is the part of the reason why I got canceled in the first place, because we can't answer that question. But well, y'all probably can, but I'm gonna let Bakari go, then I'm gonna let Shanique go, and then Black Magus.
Oh, the cookout is your culture. The cookout is everything that's supposed to be you. But the reason everybody is invited to the cookout because black people give away their culture. Black people run away from everything black and find something negative to say about it. That's why I put it in the chat. And I know folks think, but I'm just saying, when we sit and we talk, and the only thing we can ever say about is HBCU is something negative, we don't understand how we are talking about us. We are giving away what was supposed to be us. We gave away the music. Going back to now we see the Negro spiritual. You can go back to the blues, you can go back to rap, all that come out of our oppression in what we were going through. We give it away. Then we turn around and say, oh, they took it. They're trying to make somebody be black. No, they didn't take it. They did not take it. We don't want it. They put a date on whatever it is we have. And we accept that date and figure out a way to embarrass anything that we do that is black. So now we figure out a way to insult it because they put a date on what we have and we accept their date. So we give away the culture. We give away our food. Like we were talking last night, when you go and you can find Chinamans, Koreans cooking soul food in black neighborhoods, and black people is going. They're not taking it. So when MG2 put that question in the chat, I don't know what the hell those stanzas is. I'm gonna be honest. So I couldn't answer the question like the name of stanza. I don't know. I was never into music like that. But I know Negro spirituals. I grew up watching them, hearing my mama sing them, but they sung them in church. I ain't hear them too much in church because I really didn't go to church when I was little. I ain't had to go. But I grew up hearing my mama, my grandmama, her sisters. We got together.
That was 1950, Bakari.
They would sing Negro spirituals. But now you got somebody up there singing like they're in the opera and they're women. Or we can go to this David Banner song called Elvis. That's the name of the song, Elvis. It said Elvis, just like Elvis. Then he said Justin Timberlake, that's what Usher is supposed to be. We gave away the R&B. Who's a real black R&B artist today? If somebody come out with something saying R&B, Forecast called a white dude named who stole Marvin Gaye music. I can't even remember his name.
Oh, Robin Thicke?
Yeah, him, that white boy. But we gave that away. When I was reading the articles and these people talking about the blues, the people that want to learn the blues and at the blues festival and trying to learn and listening to the blues, it ain't the young black people. It's way more, it's young. They say the young crowd is young white people because we get away from our culture. They too old. They don't know. We don't want to be around that. That's old. That's old. That's old. And at the same time, we don't understand how we are insulting all of our ancestors and all of our others who pushed so we could be here to enjoy whatever it is we enjoying today, or if you're enjoying anything or whatever benefit you have, but we throw it away. So I don't even look and say, well, they came and took it. No, we got to start looking in the mirror and say, what are we giving it away? Because we have a problem with black folk. And that's my take on, we have a problem with black folk. And when I'm saying we, I'm not excluding myself, because when I say we, I speak on all black people, because one person or two people or three people don't trump the race. So when I say we, that's what I mean. We, that's why we will get away from it. We can create styles for our fashion, but then the white folks' name lasts forever making fashion for us because they put a date on Carl Kanai. They put a date. They put a date on Cross Color. They did. So we accept that date. Then later on we complain. Damn, they done stole our style. No, they didn't. We listen to whatever they say and we give it to them. We get out the way. So now even the Negro spiritual's gone. Lord have mercy. We we got some work to do.
You heard that white boy, Bukari. That's the new Negro spiritual. Yo, Shanique, you want to say something?
Yeah, actually, it's funny. Um, my mind. I'm listening. I'm thinking about what MG2 said about, well, what is the cookout, and then I'm thinking about what Bakari said when he said that we gave it to them, they didn't steal it. And the only thing, it's funny that it's about Negro spirituals that we're speaking about this, because it's biblical what's going on. And I'm not going to go into a whole bunch of biblical because we all have different views on that. But one core thing I believe is that us being the people, this is about birthright. And our birthright is that we are the people. And that we sold. And on a small level, every artist, every singer, every dancer, every designer, every individual that decided, I'm not going to just sell my thing grassroots, or I have to make it. I have to be big. I have to be Christian Dior. I have to come up. The come up is to no longer be considered black, but to be rich or to be affluent or be to something other than being black. Whereas you have other cultures who become affluent and are affluent Indians first, affluent Chinese people first. Like we're trying to get away on an individual level. The people, when they make their come up, is trying to get away from being black. And then afterward, we're like the Jacksons, where the majority of their family is just a mixture, a nice little rainbow, moving slowly and further and further away from black. The two core people in that family were a black man and a black woman. And now it's like a whole bunch of other stuff going on. And that's their decision. But for me, going back to MGK, how I guard the cookout is that I have 6 sons. There is no confusion in their minds. I do not walk around hating people, but they know to duplicate what they have at home in a mother that's black and a father that's black is what I expect. I don't expect any other variation. And that's my cookout. That's that part. So from there, if you have from a different economic background, if you come from a different part of the country, the diaspora, you're still black, then we all can mix and share and grow and build the vivacious color and flavor that is being black. But we are not diluting it. The inclusion has led to dilution. And now we're just turning into 1 packet of Kool-Aid with 2 gallons of water and a whole bunch of artificial sweetener. But we're trying to say, oh, that's our Kool-Aid. No, now it's something else. And we can't be mad at anyone but ourselves, but we have to individually in our own homes. It's like yesterday, in our own homes, we have to take responsibility and say, this is what we will allow and this is what we will not. If it's to only say, I'm only going to buy black, then I'm only going to buy black. If it's to say I'm only going to interact with black people, then whatever it is for you within your comfort level. But we have to make a stand for what it is to be us, because there was a point in time where we had no choice in the matter. We were in our communities, whether we were the bus driver or the street sweeper or whatever, the librarian or the teacher, and we had no other place that we could go. That was it. And it worked. It wasn't the best, but it worked. But what's better now? We're rich, we're poor, we're still being shot in the street, we're still having things stolen or giving it away. It's still this confusion because we have to take personal ownership for the fact that we are black Negroes, and they'll call us niggers, whatever, but that's what we are. And we have to say that you don't get to be in that. You don't get to be included on any level. No, you cannot cook pig feet. I don't eat pork, but you cannot cook it. You cannot do this. I won't buy it. Like, we have to make a stand, right, or we'll just disappear.
Yeah, exactly. Like children, we ain't buying children's no more. And before I pass it to Black Megas, shouts out to Matron in the building. And she said, what about the idea that the white middle class is encouraged to go into these endeavors? Middle class blacks are trying to stay above water. I agree with that. I agree with what all of y'all are saying. Go ahead, Black Megas.
Let me first say that sometimes you get so stuck in what you're doing that you kind of change character a bit. I have not had to use my lexicon in a few in a few months. So I am loving the intellectual dialogue that we are having here. Because I know I'm hearing words that's like, oh yeah, that's right. I'm supposed to be using, the big fancy words. not trying to front with saying big fancy words, but I'm just saying like, once you really step away from, I guess what we would classify as Negrodom, you really do open your mind up when you start picking up books and reading, and your entire way that you talk changes. So I'm definitely enjoying the conversation that we're having here tonight in a very respectable manner and everything. Now, I have, and I think I've talked about this on your podcast before and on Bakari's podcast about the dynamic, and I'm glad we have MG2 here because I'm going to say this, and I would like for him to kind of give his commentary on this. I've come to the conclusion that in every generation, the dynamic that we commonly know as white terrorism, which most people will call racism, every generation they put together. Well, no, they target. Even all the way up into middle school, they scout who they're going to be able to pick, who they're going to scoop up to go into whatever.
Oh, he fell off.
He fell off.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he was gonna say. All right, well he ain't pop back up. I guess I'll let him finish. But MG2, go ahead.
Yeah, because I'm intrigued at what Black Magus is going to say. If you listen to this on the playback, Black Magus, I'm not a lexicologist, but I'm trying to learn. Right? Yeah, I definitely love the conversation. Basically, what I'm seeing is I'm seeing several different generations on this live stream. Definitely, and within these different generations, it gives me, it gives me the ability to actually. I see myself in a lot of what you guys are saying. Your generation right now that I see there, Brother Forecast, is a generation that exposes the situation. That's why I love your videos. Brother Bakari, and again, and the reason I say his generation is because someone his age I raised as a daughter, pretty much. I mean, she's like my little sister's his age. And I remember walking her and driving her to the school every day. And his generation is in a generation of, hey guys, we gave it away. It's definitely a generation of now things are exposed. Now look at what, I can't look at that competitor, white or whatever else, and say, oh, it's their fault, because clearly, and I call it the age of introspection. And that's usually when you're in that generation, you start to, you're seeing things and saying, wait a minute, and now I could start, even though it's painful, I'm starting to look within myself. I'm at a generation right now, is a generation where I don't give a shit about nothing. I'm just going to take over. Okay, I'm at war. Okay, and that's usually when you get of a certain age. It's like, look, throw caution to the wind. I don't care if I have to buy a nuke or whatever. I'm going to go ahead and kill my competitor, even if it's their economy, if it's their language, if it's their stores, even if that competitor is a Peckerwood, East Indian, Hispanic, Asian. I don't care. I'm out for war. And I love this kind of conversation because I can reflect in the things that because I was just like you guys. I listen to what you say and I'm like, yeah, I remember saying stuff like that. I remember living around folks like that. And it puts fuel, it puts the fuel in the fire for me to continue what I'm doing. And the reason I say that, and I'm so glad to listen to Shanique, because she gave me some really good insight into, again, it's just looking through you guys' eyes, because I don't have any eyes pretty much. So I have to look through your eyes and say, okay, what gave you what was the foundation of the statements that you guys had? And one of the things that I do, especially now, I used to do security walks, walk around the neighborhood. I saw the thing the other day, Brother Bakari, where you encountered those cops, and I'm glad that you're doing it, because I've been posting videos of myself doing it for the last 5 years. I thought I was the only one, but thank God you're doing it. I used to do these security walks around the neighborhood, and I encounter a lot of cops, and I get in the way a lot of times. I don't care. I'm at that age right now where, hey, the best they could do is we'll go to blows. But the thing is what I've seen increasingly is folks in my generation, for lack of a better term. We're talking anywhere from late 50s to early 70s. And I'm seeing they're literally laying on the streets in front of stores, like they've given up on life. And this is not, I've been where I'm at for over 30 years, pretty much. I have not seen it like at this level in the last 30 years. And I'm sure this is not a microcosm. I'm sure you guys see it where you're at. And if not, then I'm gonna give you my eyes because I'm like 98% blind. So the thing is I'm walking with my cane and I'm, trying to like, feel my way around folks so I don't step on folks because I can't see them. But I'd say they're like late 40s to early 70s. And it's a lot of black folk just laying on the streets, literally doing nothing. And when I say laying, they're either homeless, you could tell mental health or whatever it is. But I'm seeing that and the impact that it has on young folks, because you see somebody's 13, 14, young brother, sister walking up down the street, and they see somebody that looks like their uncle or their cousin. That has a serious impact in their minds. Like, hey, could this be my mom or dad? Could this be my uncle? Could this be me? And the reason I had to bring that out is because when we start not looking at our competitors as a weapon or a tool, and only reflecting on look at what they're doing to our music, what they're doing to this, look at what they're stealing, and not necessarily saying, wait a minute, no one can steal something from you that you're not willing to give away. I'm gonna say it again, because if they steal it from you and you don't go and kill them, cut their throat and get it back, then clearly it was not meant for you in the first place. Look at these wars, the so-called wars that are happening, especially Ukraine and Russia. You're seeing that particular thing play out over there in and of itself. Look at Sudan. Look at some of the things, Taiwan and China. Look at the things folks are saying, look, you want to steal from me? Well, you're going to have to, if you want to, quote unquote, be a culture vulture, it's going to cost you some blood. Unfortunately, as Brother Bakari said, we've given it away and not extracted not the bride's price, but the blood price. In other words, Dr. Bobby Wright said it, blood debts must be paid in blood. Someone that takes your music, someone that literally decapitates your 4-year-old's finger, someone that goes ahead and steals your so-called spirituals or your culture, clearly it was not meant for us because they have not paid the price of blood to take it. Like they've taken our bodies, like they've taken the quote unquote culture, like they've taken our monies, like they've taken Black Wall Street, like they've taken, the list goes on. So the thing is it's great to see the different generations that I'm hearing. One talking about, look at what these folks have been doing. That's why I love your videos. One generation is saying, look, they're doing it because we gave it to them. And then another generation that's going to say, which is coming from me, what are you going to do about it? Really? That's what it comes down to. What in the hell are we going to do? Or what do you want to do? Or what are you capable of doing? Or what do you think you're inspired or even think that something needs to be done? Should this be the case that we have a competitor that's stealing our culture, our money, our 4-year-old's finger, our sons being shot, whatever it is, should that be the case? And I'm clearly it is because the record has stated it. The real question is, if somebody's going to take something from you and you don't go ahead and extract the price of blood for them to doing it, then maybe whatever they took was not yours, whether it's Negro spirituals or a 4-year-old's finger in the first place. I'll pass the mic.
Yeah, and I'm gonna let Black Magus finish what he's saying. Let me say this real quick, because I do want to say it's not about like for me it's not about like what they have done to, it's like what we are doing. I'm showing our reaction to this. Like it may seem like what they're doing, like, but no, it's what we're doing or lack thereof. You know what I'm saying? So I want to understand that like everything I say or do is like towards Black people. Like what in the hell is wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? But I'll let Black Magus finish and then Bakari, and then we'll go around one more time.
MG2 kind of I feel like really gave the perspective that I was looking for with the commentary that I was gonna give. I just know a few things probably would have been said different had not that came out. I even heard his mic kind of chop it up, trying to shut it down. But basically, just to summarize, is
hey, your mic. Hey, Black Magus, you can hear me? Your mic kind of messing up, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, yeah, go ahead. You can hear now. Your mic was messing up. Damn, he fell off again. And Matron said the list of things that were taken from us are innumerable. We have to make up our minds that we are going to take it back. But my thing is, we say this. Amos Wilson said in 20, we have to be prepared. Like that is the next 20. Yo, we still in the same situation. So I'm like, what in the hell is going on with us and our responses? You know what I'm saying? And that's really the point, is us and our responses to all of this stuff. Like people call, like, yo, you don't think it hurts me when my mom calls me racist because I say like a white boy did
Yo,
something? Black Megas, go ahead.
bro, I think they think I'm trying to give away the Krabby Patty secret formula or something.
They already be hating.
So just we have to realize that for each generation, they're always scouting who's going to be their next agents. Like if we look at Sha'Carri Richardson, all the hype that she got, it's only to then promote this person. And when you get the young black girls who look up to that person, well, whatever she does, then they're going to wind up doing. And so we've always seen this time and time again throughout time, that when they want to, as brother MG2 was talking about, when they want to take that culture, when he talks about Bakari's generation, saying, okay, we gave it up, well, it's because they chose that agent, right? To use Robin Thicke as the example, right? They always got to get some black credit. Once a black person gives them that credit, then all black people get on board, and that's why we're stuck in this political dichotomy like nobody else is, where any person that white people put a mic in front of, that person now becomes the spokesperson for all black people. And that's because this is what they have always done. Well, y'all gave us the credit, so obviously one person speaks for you because you didn't do anything. When Eminem came out and Dre was like, yo, this the dude to mess with. Every time some artist comes out in the music industry, we see how quickly the black rappers, when Rakim did it, it was really like, yo, rap is, as you know it, first off, rap is, really white people's invention. We'll call that Jerry Heller's music. But the hip hop industry, when you have Rakim doing that, it's gone, it's done. And as we see now in 2023, no black artist has reached the top of the billboards this year. It's so much that we don't pay attention to how the enemy is attacking us, that we fail to be ourselves. We have to be infatigable about being black and coming up with a firm definition of what black is, so that we can finally have something that we can come together on. We have not realized the division that these people have been so successful at doing to us. That's what MG2 is talking about with when you look at what's going on with Taiwan and China, Russia, Ukraine, all around this world. There's always somewhere starting color revolutions to divide the people. When Sister Shanique, I have to actually feel like I got to correct you when it comes on the Polynesian part, because the Maori, they're full of nothing but Caucasoids now. When I was stationed in Hawaii, I got to see a culture of people that I never thought existed. And I can easily see where Europeanism had struck them at. For the Philippines in particular. In Hawaii, if you ever go to Hawaii, or if you ever lived or anything, I think Dwayne even attested to this. The Filipino people are more like what we feel like Mexicans used to be here, working the labor force and things like that. But there's a deep hidden culture, like there's a term, downtown Waikiki, the boys are prettier than the girls. You see, they effeminize the hell out of these men to the point where they literally say this is their culture. It's the same thing in Cambodia, Southern Asia, Thailand. We see how they go in and divide the people, destroy them, and effeminize the men, covet the women, and who knows what they do with the children. Because they're now showing us that all of their beauty care products, all of the foods are made with baby fetuses. They literally write this stuff on our foods, on the makeup, Cinomix. If you've never heard of Cinomix, look it up. SYNOMI or MEX. These people are cannibals, and if we continue to allow them to entrench on us, because that's what they're doing, they're getting on our. They're deep in our foxhole. They're deep in our foxhole, and at this point, it's a knife fight. We can't lose this fight. Like, this is the last bastion of what we have. And to finish up, I just like to say that what MG2 was talking about with his generation, we have to look at it. That's the generation who we're supposed to be protecting, because they're supposed to be passing that knowledge down to us. Because we haven't protected our elders and we're continuing to let them pass away in old folks' home. Alton Maddox, the warrior attorney, just made his transition in a nursing home. What are we going to do when they come for Ashwar Kwesi? We seen how they stressed Dr. Frances Cress Wilson to take her home, stressed her out until she made her transition. What are we going to do when they come for Baba Baruti and all of the other elders who are out there? Are we still going to just sit back and not do anything? We're showing them that we will allow them to buy our culture, our way of life, our history, then market to us what is truth, and always have everybody talking the narrative of it's blacks who sold blacks. And we know that they're doing this now because every movie that you see that comes out now that's supposed to be something black, pro-black, or anything like that, we take the white people out of it, to the point where in Black Panther they killed Claw, and you still had black people just fighting each other. And I don't think people paid attention to that fact. We got to do better, because once they come for our elders, they know they can come for us.
All right, so I'm gonna pass it to Bukar, and let me say this. And the thing I'm saying is like, what are we gonna do? The question is, what are we? Everybody knows the answer about what are we gonna do. Not a goddamn thing. Like we gotta adjust. Like, why aren't we doing something? How can we get us to start doing something? And like I said, like my generation, the generation after me, like we probably don't even stand a chance. And I'm only saying that because I'm trying to be optimistic. But what I'm saying is like, it's like, it's not the question about what are we going to do, because we know what we're going to do. How are we going to change that? Now we like go into the next part of it, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because right now, like, we're not going to do anything if they do. Like, hell, if they just run out of money, we're not going to help them. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to donate money. We know we're not going to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we know it, and everybody knows what we're going to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, so now it's like, yo, is we going to change it or is we not? You know what I'm saying? But go ahead, Bakari, because then Shanique and then MG2, and then because I don't want to, cut you off.
Yeah, that was a great question that I think that was Matron that put that in the chat. When are we gonna take it back? The answer to that question is never, because we don't want our culture. We do if we just sit and think, right? Just be honest with ourselves. Listen to us talk. Black people do everything white people do. Black people is fighting their damnness to be white. We talk about how white people want to take your culture. Here come black people. And anything but African, anything but black. I'm a Native American. I'm listening. We start to do, Beethoven was black. See, Abraham Lincoln was black. See, John Madden, they had the fat white man that y'all saw. But the real John Madden, I'm just saying, I ain't never heard nobody say John Madden. But what I'm saying is, everything that we complain about, they have done and they still do. That is what we start to do as a people. We start to do whatever it is they do because what they say and do in our mind is right. And don't get it twisted. I do understand somewhat of why our people is the way it is, because it's hard. 1619, 1860, excuse me, 1865 enslaved. Then after you away from chattel, KKK and all that, they call them spooks. Now we call ourselves spooks. Then you got Reconstruction. From after that, Reconstruction ended in 1875. From 1875 to 1965, if you saw a white dude walking on the sidewalk with you, he could be 1 year old. You got to get off the sidewalk and let the white boy walk by. They had the laughing bears. If you laugh in public, now from 1965 to now, from 1965 to now, it has been an uphill battle. And from 1965 to now, I'm gonna say from the time I was born in 72, from the time I could remember, Black people that gave their life for Black people, I have seen Black people turn on them. What Black megas, excuse me, the MG2 was just talking about, your elders. So now when you look at it, don't wait, you ain't got to wait till they die before to show they don't care, end up being in a nursing home. All you have to do is listen to the generation now. And it's not complete assimilation, raw and forecast. It's Willie Lynch. What them people wrote in that book, regardless if they say a white man didn't write it or whatever, it fits perfect. You ain't got to wait till they're in a nursing home. All you got to do is listen to something. See, they old. See, they don't understand. Like, what in the hell is going on in this country? Somebody that had lived in this country under this nonsense much longer than people from a generation. What make people think they don't understand? They have lived it way longer. The only thing that has changed in this country is technology. That's it. But Black treatment, Black being poor, Black being oppressed, Black being at the bottom politically, economically, socially, and any other ALLY word you can think of, Black people been at the bottom. Ain't nothing changed. But we listen to them because they figured out a way. We gonna make the young fight the old. Or we gonna make this generation fight that generation. And that's what ended up happening. This generation fight that generation. And we don't understand that we are following their blueprint. Sometimes we think we're fighting the system, but if we ever stop and think, we are literally fighting ourselves. That's why when you find these people, I understand they talking about they gonna fight. I'm a socialist and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. But you got all these Black people over here that's already doing this. We can show you what the UNIA did. Why not in 2023? Let's follow some of that blueprint. I'm not saying nothing you saying is, well, we don't need to follow that because he was like this and he was like, okay. We have to get rid of that. We get rid of our heroes. We get rid of our people before they die. All of that. Now the Cookout, MG2, for me, when you say the Cookout is our community. When you say they're invited, our community, where we live, everything that is supposed to be ours in our neighborhood, because we ain't got a community. The community gonna be when we get those community-owned stores and we own them. But everybody has already been invited into that cookout a very long time ago. And when somebody like me say, man, I don't shop over there, we don't need to go there. They got a Black-owned spot up here. And sometimes if they ain't got a Black-owned spot, I still don't go to those people in my community. I'll go somewhere else, because we supposed to be in control in our community. Like when I was talking, this might have been a few days ago, and MG2 mentioned it on his on his panel one. I walked into that store to get some water. It was about 900 degrees. I wanted some cold water. As I look on the shelf, I see the Hispanic-owned chips. Of course, the white-owned stuff in there. You got every culture or ethnic group or whatever who wants stuff in that store sold, and it's in a majority black area on that shelf, except the black-owned potato chips. In a black neighborhood, black stuff can't get on the shelf. Black people in there buying. When I say why I'm not buying, they look at me like I'm funny. I'm like, I'm not spending any money here. And it's not about the potato chip. It's about the lack of respect. Actually, the lack of respect. We get no respect. The disrespect is the lack of respect they give and the disrespect that we accept. How the hell we gonna be in a black neighborhood and we know this is black made and this is black made? Even down, some of them little corner stores, they might sell stuff like syrup. They don't have Michelle syrup. Y'all ever heard of Michelle syrup? They didn't have Michelle syrup on their shelf. They got all that other stuff though. But we still going there because we accepted disrespect. I believe we have accepted the fact that we are less than. And consider you're right. That's what Dr. Amos Wilson said a long time ago. If you want to talk about black people boycott, you ain't never got to tell them to boycott a black business. And when we look, we have to sit and think, and what are we teaching our children? See, what Mega say, he said, when they're young, they know they want them. My youngest son was a straight A student all through school. From the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade. It was this allegedly prestigious private school in Boston, Massachusetts that wanted my son to come. My family know how I am. So me and my sister, who's a school teacher, was talking. She like, did you tell him he can't go? I'm like, ask him. I said, I ain't had to tell him. Because I raised myself. I say, they asked me, said, do you want to go to that school? He was like, no. They said, why? Because they trying to make me white. I'm going to be the only black person in there. They don't want me to be black. But I've been teaching them that since they were little. When they see something good in you, they want it. They want to use you for their benefit. But everything good about you is you, your family, and your people in your community, your extended family, black people, and no one person trumped the race. That's what you use. Whatever it is good they want, that's what you use it for. You use it for your people. You're going to go from the inside out, yourself, you and your family, then the other black people in your community where you live, then you spread out from that community to another community. That's what you use it for. Because I taught them when they was little, they can't get you. I didn't have to tell them that when they started sending them letters. They can't get you. I let them read them. I don't want to go there, Daddy. They want me to be white. I ain't white. They can't make me white. They can't make me white. I said, I know it. I know they can't make you white. You'll never be white. So it's what we teach. And it's the things that we need to keep, that we need to preserve. But we don't understand the influence social media can have. So when this generation down this, and when that generation down that, and all the fighting back and forth, so now ain't nothing being preserved because the generation coming behind this generation, they're coming behind this generation, they're coming behind this generation. I heard everybody before say, oh, that's old. We don't want that no more. That's old. We don't need that no more. All that is old. I'm just saying on that, I get the mic.
All right. And shouts out to Ben. Ben, yeah, we about to wrap it up soon. So and then we're gonna let Shanique go, and then MG2 jump in, and then So go ahead, Shanique.
Okay. It's just when you say what are we gonna do about it? I it's funny because it's hard for us as a people to come to an agreement on what we need to do about it, because we all have a different aspiration in this world, because we view ourselves as people here trying to live a life. But if we go to the point of life, to why are we existing, then we have to then go into, okay, did we evolve? Was there a big bang? How did we get here? Who are people? All of that. And then that requires some study, some reflection, and for me, some prayer. And I have the understanding that the thing that they have created religions behind is my history book. I am a part of the people. I am a daughter of Zion. So if I know that, then I already know the answer to the rest of the things. You see those people who say they are Jews but are not, they manage to have communities in New York, where I'm from, where they exist as Hasidic or whatever kinds, and they live there and they are yet separated, but they're not an underclass. They're actually managed to have a coveted position of being elevated from other people, yet separated and still existing. We have not accepted that we are the people of the book, that people are pretending to be. And so then we just keep falling into the circle of what's in that book. And that book talks about slavery. That book talks about why we are in slavery and how long we're going to be in and what would take us out. If my people who are called by my name, that part of it, that's what we need to do. We need to return, but we have to find our way there. Each person is not for everybody. Everyone is not going to be one of those people that gets the point. And even if we just decide to go about it a different way and said, oh, I'm not going to think about the biblical implications, I'm not going to think about whether we're the people or not, we still would have those individuals who say, no, plug me back in. I want to be in the matrix. I don't want to be black. I don't want to be whatever you think you are. I'm a different thing. So we're always going to have a group that does not want to work with a group that's wanting to be a collective. And we recognize that we're a collective, but we also have to recognize that there's power with us, not only in our voice, not only in our might, but spiritually. So for me, I battle spiritually and physically. So yes, that just like Bakari said, there's places that will not see my face. I'm not buying anything from you. I don't want what you have. You can't give me anything, because I recognize what they are there to do. See, they're playing chess, and we've been playing checkers and I don't know, hopscotch and tic-tac-toe for a minute. We need to recognize that this battle is on two planes. It's a physical plane and it's a spiritual plane. And we're losing in the spirit. We lay our heads to sleep and we just go and take rest. But the truth of the matter is, while we're doing that, they're stealing our birthright. They're stealing our power. Yes, our young men are deciding, our young women are deciding everything but what looks like them is so much better. And so then we're going to build a family. How? How does that happen? How do you even have the army to fight a war if you keep not building more participants? I mean, if I had no children, then I would have to then go and duplicate by way of, like you said, making sure that I have educated and inculcated ideas in young people that understand this is what it is to be what you are. This is what you need to do to keep duplicating that. And you must remember that no matter how saturated your community is with something other than you, you are not just like everyone else. I tell my boys that all the time. The things that happen to us, some of them surprise us, but never do they make us sit mystified at the fact that things don't go the way they supposed to go in the textbook. Oh, well, this should happen if that happens. Yeah, for someone else, maybe. And yes, we may have to fight for it, but I don't always fight in the flesh. My fight is about, okay, do I need to pray? Do I need to fast? Do I need to make sure that I am rebuking the spirits on individuals? I can tell when people have a spirit on them, and I see it. And sometimes I miss it. But believe you me, I go to my Father and I ask him, give me the strength to get beyond this, because I know how this story ends. We do get free. we do rise up. And I think that a lot of them know, the scriptures say they're Confederate. A lot of them know how the story ends too. Those who brought into captivity will go into captivity. So they know that that's what's coming. And they're trying to drag it out as long as they can. So if they can keep us drunk off the wine, of intoxicated actual wine, or what's new, or what's flashy, or what's interesting, or what's exciting. Are you not entertained? I said that yesterday. I feel like it's the mode of the day. Are we not entertained? When do we get enough of it? When do we sit and say, hold on, while we're being entertained, we're also being murdered, we're also being raped, we're also being used for parts, we're also being made to participate in our own genocide? This stuff that's going on involves us on a physical and a spiritual level, but we have to decide individually, am I going to go get on my knees and talk to whomever I believe and ask him, tell me what's true? Is it what I believe? Or is it something else? If I'm wrong, let me know I'm wrong and give me the desire to fight, because it has to be like the Maccabees. At some point, we will need to physically fight, but right now we need to spiritually fight. And no one is fasting and no one is praying and no one is saying, Father, when? When you talk about Negro spirituals, those were beggings to the Father for, hey, help us, see us, hear us, kumbaya. Come near us so that you can fight for us, so that you can slaughter them. This was not a peaceful lay down in the forest on the grass. This was, Father, be mighty for us, for your name's sake. And we're not doing that. We're thinking that, oh, everything is sweet. It's never been sweet. They just are more subtle than we are. They just sit, and I just last week had an instance where I'm working for some people and they're saying training is going well. And the day before the end of it, it was like, oh, the trainer had concerns. I saw this already, but I ignored it because I like, oh no, she seems nice enough. Fool on me for recognizing and ignoring. Okay, so we have to just get to a place where we see a snake and we don't call it a mouse and we don't call it a bird. We call it a snake, and maybe we don't say it to its face, but we recognize, identify, and act accordingly. That's it.
Oh man, yo, Shanique going in on y'all. Oh, MG2.
Yeah, I'm just enjoying it, everything, man. You know, Brother Forecast always enjoy it. As she was talking, I got to thinking of Ezekiel saw the will way up in the middle of the air. Ezekiel, that's one of them. The other one is get on board. Little children, get on board. Little children, there's room for many and more. There's another one. I got shoes, you got shoes. All God's children got shoes.
Yes.
There's another one. I remember them all. My parents, you know, they toured the world with, you know, all Negro spirituals. There's so many of them. It would take me like a week to sing them all to you. The thing that you guys, I mean, like I say, it's so much to respond to because it gives me ideas. Brother Bakari, and I know you and Brother Forecast heard me say this for years. You got individual collectivists and collective individualists. Okay, and the reason I have to put this foundation here for you guys is when I say, what are you going to do? When I say, what are you going to do? I'm talking to the individual, but the individual is part of a collective. A lot of times we'll say, what are we going to do? And I said, and I'm so glad you brought that up, Brother Forecast said, yeah, we ain't going to do nothing. But the real issue is, what are you going to do? Remember, individual collectivism. Okay, you're an individual part of a collective that definitely has been going on through some issues for 2,000 seasons, like the book says. For those of you who read 2,000 seasons. So clearly, as an individual, I ask, you know, there is something that is definitely, you know, there's a fly in the ointment of Black race. Clearly, we've been under duress and under harassment for quite some time. The bottom line is this. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? And the reason I say, what are you going to do, is not like, again, abstract or euphemism. Let me tell you something. As what I've been doing for the last maybe 20 years, and I told myself, I'm going to do this. I have no other choice. What are you innovating, protecting? What are you creating? What are you doing as yourself that will impact someone that looks exactly like you that you don't know for the next 100 years, or their generations, or the generations after? I'm going to say it again, so therefore I can get loquacious and it might be hard to understand. What have you created? What have you invented? What are you doing as part of a collective that's going to impact someone that looks like you that you don't even know and never knew? And it will impact their generations for the next 100 years. This is something I've been working on for close to 2 decades, because I had to ask myself that, because I see that my competitors have done that. We just call him Mark Zuckerberg. We just call him Elon Musk. We just call him whatever it is, Threads versus Twitter. Whatever they're doing is going to impact folks they don't know for years on years. But there's going to be those that are them, not us. We'll be consumers of their product, but not the creators. So I ask, what are you going to do? I like the fact that when Brother Bakari brought up community, and he brought up the word culture, and I always ask folks, because they always get the definition wrong, what really is culture? Oh, well, we got hip hop culture. It's the way we sing, the way we dance, the way we pray, the way we eat. The best definition is one my mom told me back in the 60s. Culture is a device mechanism handed down through generations for survival. Every animal has culture. Even a marijuana plant has culture, because it hands down the ticket or the instruction manual for survival through each generation of new marijuana plants. No different than what white folks do when they tell their sons at the age of 16, yeah, you've been hanging around with Pookie, but now it's time to pick up a gun and a red MAGA hat because you guys aren't friends anymore. That's culture. No different than, unfortunately, our culture is handing down like, hey, man, I ain't got nothing to do with them. They just a bunch of thugs or whatever. And therefore, we're handing down an instruction manual of how to survive. When Brother Bakari brought up the term of community, and I love that very well in terms of folks, in the cookout, the quote unquote proverbial quote unquote cookout, our community. Then I asked, where is such community? What they call common unity. There might be a community online, a bunch of folks on a blog or on TikTok or whatever. That's a community. But when it comes down to it, a community is like minds that have like action. And that like action is to further secure their destiny as that common unity. Protect that destiny as a common unity. Make sure they innovate. Make sure they teach as a common unity or a community. It's not something just of, okay, there's a couple of black stores down the street. It goes much further in terms of how do we protect, not only for myself, but for the future generations. When Brother Bakari was talking about the chips, and I remember that conversation very well, and he's very 100% right in the impact. It's not just that these, you might be hurting a black business. What you're doing is committing genocide. Because the moment you subsidize someone else's belly, you've taken the food out of your own. Here's what I mean. Every chip, every bag of chip, whether it's Hispanics or anyone else that somebody that looks like you buys from someone else, they've just went ahead and put food into that individual's belly and took it out of our own. Every penny that you have in your pocket that goes to some other race, you just went ahead and made sure that they could eat another day. And it deprives you of having that penny so your race can eat another day. That's just common sense. We see it in the so-called, I always beat up on East Indians because that's a clear example of what happened. For years, a lot of folks have been buying everything from going to the East Indian corner store to buying their hair and everything else. Now you've got a Vivek Ramaswamy who wants to be a so-called president that's telling you he's more anti-woke than anything, which means he wants you to go back to Jim Crow. And he's not alone. Because his race has been subsidized for decades, no different than Koreans in the New York in the 90s or Hispanics are doing right now. They're being subsidized, and that's no different than it's a suicide, almost a self-propelled genocide. You're putting something into someone else's belly. Therefore, it deprives you of the food that you as a race should eat. Very simple. It's not rocket science. The thing is to go ahead and cure that. And that's why I ask those questions. And what I tell you, this little statement, what have you done? What are you doing? What do you intend to do? What are you even thinking about that could innovate, could protect, invent, create, teach, and learn that is going to impact every individual or any individual that looks like you that you never even know and probably would never know. But it's going to impact them in a great way to make them competitive for the next 100 years, 200 years. What are you doing? What have you done? And if you can't answer that question, and it's only a question you can answer for yourself, cannot be a group question for a group answer. That's something that's individualistic to each person. What are you doing in your life right now? Whatever you invent that's going to make sure that 200 years from now, little Ray Ray and Pookie says, I'm at this position in my life right now because of Brother Forecast did this, or because Brother Bakari did this, or Shanique did this, or Magus did this 200 years ago. They invented, created, protected, innovated, learned, and taught something that changed the impact of all the folks that look like me, and I don't even know who those folks were back in 2023. What are you doing now to do that? Or is that even a possibility or something in your mind? If it's not, then when these folks go to your cookout, the only thing you're going to be left with is doing dishes, no different than what happened to us in the past. Ask yourself, be truthful with yourself, and also be truthful with the answer. Thanks a lot there, Brother Forecast. I'm going to listen offline to you guys, and BB Fahodie to all y'all.
Yo, definitely, yo, and
BB Fahodie.
I appreciate you for coming on, MD2. Y'all make sure y'all, MD2 is a wise brother, you know what I'm saying? And I will say this, you know, because he's absolutely right. And this is why I always want to stress the point, like, because it's about what are you going to do about it? You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, it's like what I want the younger generation, and what we have to understand is, like, as a collective, you know what I'm saying? We have to realize the situation that we're in, where we're at, you know what I'm saying? And I don't want nobody to be discouraged because you have a talent or a tool or something that you are good at specifically. And this is why I encourage everybody to, like, I don't care if you know how to bake. If all you can do is spit, then spit, in the words of Fred Hampton, you know what I'm saying? And this is like what, and I agree with what MD2 was saying 100%. And I'm just saying, like, with us today, you know, realizing right now, Bakari, he may not want to accept the fact that his generation dropped the ball, right? But we know basketball, right? We in the situation that we in again. So if he dribbled the ball again, he already dribbled it and picked it up, right? So if he dribbled it again, it's a double dribble. So now we have to respond and react with the situation, with the territory that we are now in. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to address the fact that, you know, the ball has been dropped, so we can't just expect that, oh, we can just snap our fingers and things will go back to normal. It's a straight process that's going to have to take place. You know what I'm saying? That until we realize that we have to take control of our children's mind, because really that's the only hope, and that's really what we losing at, because we think we're going to see it in our generation, and you may not. You know what I'm saying? It may be your grandchildren, and I hope it's my children. You know what I'm saying? If we start right now, it can be, but that's what we not expect. We think that something's going to happen tomorrow, when it's going to be a whole process of that. And I want everybody to know that they have some kind of skill. And I only tell that to the younger generation, because I can't tell any of y'all anything. You know, what do I know? But there's a whole bunch of tools and things that you can use to help people and influence other people. So yeah, you can take the responsibility and put it into your hands. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, we can't ignore the whole history of, we say this stuff over and over, but it did not happen. Nobody did it. You know what I'm saying? Bakari dropped the ball, and now he's trying to dribble again, and get mad because somebody say double dribble. You know, I'm just joking with you, Bakari. I ain't trying to get you to turn up. But you know what? I want y'all to summarize y'all thoughts, and when we go around this time, I'm gonna let Black Magus and Bakari and then Shanique, so we can stay in order before we close out. So go ahead. Like Magus, kind of like all of your thoughts from tonight and everything, or anything that you wanted to add in, you know what I'm saying? Kind of summarize it and like break down your thoughts, you know what I mean?
Tonight really was a good conversation from different perspectives. Again, it's the 9 areas of people activity. And so what we have to understand is that sometimes, while those of us who are doing the work may have different perspectives, we have to understand that those different perspectives just mean that we're choosing to fight the war on that avenue. Though we may not all agree with each other, as long as what the person is doing, they're being morally conscious about, that's how you know that person is a person to trust. That's how you know that person is a brother or a sister. I don't hear anyone saying a BB for Hodie without knowing exactly what that is. So for me to hear MG2 say that, I definitely got to follow that brother and tap into what he's saying. Um, because that's what it's always about, is finding those like minds. We congregate into spaces like this not by happenstance. There is a spiritual force at play. Whether you call it the 5%ers, where there's a belief that only 5% of us are going to make it. I don't know where that has a spiritual connection at, a financial connection, or anything like that. But we do know that it is going to be a small part of us, as we've agreed on this platform, that when a civil war does break out, we understand that it's going to be us against us. And until we have come to that conscious awareness of knowing that, there is no type of psychological damage that comes to a person worse than knowing you have to fight your own. Even for those who have lost all sense of self, if we understand that small fact, then that, I believe, that's something that can actually bring us together. I don't give up on us. I know that there's more. We didn't get as far as we got on just luck and whims. With that, I yield.
All right, Bakari, without double dribbling, because you dropped the ball once, so you can't dribble again. Um, I'll
I
mess
couldn't
with
double
you.
dribble. I'm the greatest point guard in history. I never double dribble travel. I never done nothing. Nothing like that. But now, well, look, man, thank you for having me up on your panel, man. Everything was
Bro,
good.
you supposed to sum up your thoughts, not close out. Well, I know you about to go to sleep, so go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna listen offline, but everything. But this but if you had to let me finish, see, you cut me off. You know what you're saying? Oh, so when I'm old, I be forgetting. But anyway, the stuff that MG2 talked about, Shanique talked about, Black Megas talked about, the things that we spoke on tonight was is very interesting. I agree. I agree. Even when MG2 was in the chat asking to name a Negro spiritual, I knew why he was asking to name. Can anybody in here name a Negro spiritual? Because we were talking about culture and how we have given our culture away to people, to people who don't give a damn, who don't give a damn about us, right? So then we get to where we have to talk about, how do we get our culture back? When Matron put in the chat and everybody spoke on, so what are we going to do to get it back? So my response to that in the chat was, and I'm going to say, we have to want it in order to take it back. So now we have to look and say, do we really want our culture? Do we really want what's ours, or do we want to complain and say, look what they took from us? We have to want it. We have to want it. We have to want to be black. I'm not black. Me not black. But we have to want to be. We have to want to be around us and work with us. We have to get to the point where we're not accepting disrespect anymore. We're the most disrespected of the whole human species. And we accept the disrespect so we can be a part of someone else. As long as we accept it, we can be the good Negro. They don't worry about us. There's no danger. There's no danger from us at all. So, but when are we going to change that narrative about how people see us and how we see ourselves, which is more important. How do we see us? You know, when we come on this social media platform, I've met good people on this social media platform. I'm a firm believer, I like to say pound the pavement. But when we have conversations like this is a serious conversation. This is serious talking and talking about what we want to do. If we don't put ourselves in the algorithm, like sharing the shows on every social media site you have, however you want to do it, if we don't put ourselves in the algorithm, we won't get in the algorithm. And that is something easy. Just hit the share button. I can't share nothing on Twitter no more. Twitter don't let me post nothing on there no more. But anyway, I'm just saying that's one of the easiest things that we can do if we're really trying to build something positive for real on these social media, as they say, the YouTube streets. As Shanique say, are we entertained yet? The crazy thing is that's what most of our people is concerned about, is being entertained. So when she said, are we entertained yet? Are we entertained yet? We'll go to our grave being entertained, but have not tried to strike a blow to change the condition of our people, to change the economic condition of our people, the social condition of our people, political condition of our people. Feed our people. You know, I had some people laugh at me because I said I was going out to feed them. Well, I ain't giving nobody no peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Well, okay, we didn't have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, but okay, we go down here. Our people are laying down there on those streets in downtown Atlanta. 98% us. So I was happy to go down there and pass out socks and pass out toothbrush and pass out toothpaste. But somehow we can find some people that's going to find something wrong with that, but they can continue to find it. But I'm going to continue to do what I do, and I'm going to continue to work the way I work. And I'm going to just, when I leave this place, by 60 years from now, only thing I can say is I did my best, and I can try to improve on my best. But on that note, man, I'm about to get out of here. I'm going to listen offline. Peace and one love.
I appreciate you coming on, Bukhari. Shanique, yeah, everything kind of sum up everything you was thinking about, everything you wanted to say today. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. First off, I want to say I'm grateful. My husband called me to let me know because I didn't get the notification. I'm grateful, Forecast, that you do the work and you're diligent about this channel, because there's so much that needs to be said, and you collect all the people together and you draw people together, and then it gets said, and from that there's birthed ideas. I'm grateful that I was able to glean information from all these wise men on this panel, because I've been spurned to do something other than what I've done, which is in my own home, but I feel inspired to do something. And it's been a long time coming, but I feel like I have to get it done, because you're right. We have to make our mark. We have to make a change. It can't just be, oh, my little cup, and splashed a little rock in a cup, and there's a trickle and a ripple in the water in that cup. It has to be in the pond in order for there to be some real change that's made. I want to do more, and I intend to be more diligent about my spiritual warfare, because that's most important to me, and I know that that makes change. But I also realize that, as my husband often mentions to me, there has to be that the Most High Yah works in a physical plane as well, and that if it were not, like Bakari was saying, if you're not out there helping to feed people, to give people things to take care of their hygiene, then what's going to happen? Those things will just degrade, and then someone else will have to do it, I imagine, or it just won't get done. But something has to be done. And when everyone asks, well, what are we going to do about it? It's going to be different things for different people. But for me, I recognize that it has to get done sooner than later. Procrastination cannot be the thing that I continue to do, and that I have no excuse, because the wisdom was given. I've been edified. I've felt and really feel empowered by what was said today. And so if there's nothing that I come away with it from, it's definitely that I was amongst some great people saying things that needed to be said. And it's not for nothing, as I used to say in Brooklyn. This didn't happen for no reason. I heard it for a reason, and I want to make a change. And I hope other people who are listening find their light and do what it is that they can, because it's going to take all of us to make a change. The fact that we're here right now in this issue, this situation, did not happen because one person messed up. It happened because a lot of people messed up, and they continue to mess up. So we have to really work hard to make a change. And I intend to do that. I'm thankful again. I'm so grateful for this panel that I was able to get on it. Forecast, keep up the good work. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Shanique, definitely. I appreciate you for coming through. You know what I'm saying? And I'll say this, right? First, I'll say this, right? When I was young, I used to be afraid of Negro spirituals. You know what I'm saying? It used to spook me out. I'm going to be honest with you. And maybe it's some psychological damage or whatever it may be. But when I used to hear like wade in the water and all that kind of stuff, I used to kind of get like a little bit scared when I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like I said, that may be a mindset. I think that is whatever. But I do have to say this, you know, because a lot of the stuff that we say, it sounds good. You know, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? But like, we can't ignore the fact that we have done nothing. We got in this situation for a reason, right? We like, there was I showed black men, black women doing stuff before, and then now we got to the situation, and then today to where we at. It didn't happen out of nowhere. It's because a lot of or certain, you know, generations, like at least 2 or 3, have not done nothing. We have done nothing but talk and talk and talk. You know what I'm saying? So it sounds good when we say like, the answer is, we have done nothing. You know what I'm saying? So now we are like, have to realize.
Forecast.
Mhm.
Bro, the energy of what everything that was just being said, not of your words, but like of us bonding the way that we just did. You have to go back to what MG2 says. It is what you, the individual, does. To hell with everybody else, bro. To hell
Yeah,
with
that's what I'm
everybody
saying.
else.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. That's what
So,
I'm getting
but
to.
look, as you know that you're doing what you need to do, you have to know that there are others out there doing the same.
Right. Yeah. I'm not saying that. I'm saying like, but what, as a collective, what do we own? You know what I'm saying? We have to face reality at at the same time. I'm not saying anything that we're saying on here. I'm just saying, as a collective, you feel me? Like, we have to realize the situation that we are in. Like, we can't expect to go from 0 to 100. You know what I'm saying? Like, or expect to like run before we cross. We got to the situation. I'm not blaming nobody for the situation, but we have to recognize, and we can't ignore the fact that we are in the situation that we're in. And this is not against like anybody in particular. I'm just saying like we are here, you know what I'm saying? And this is not even to discourage, because what I'm saying is, like, this is why like, we have to start from like the basics, like start working on the basics. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is like, what everything that I say is really for like the younger people, you know what I'm saying, who may have a chance, you know, because I don't think that we realize, like, maybe we think it's going to change tomorrow. It's a process. It's like, you have to put together a plan, and you may or may not be here to see it, you know what I'm saying, but you still have to be down with the plan to do that. And starting with the basics is very important. You know what I'm saying? Like, right now we can't even we arguing about what our name is and all of this stuff. Like, and I'm not blaming us, because I know that like, your enemies make moves on you and they do things, and I'm not saying that we don't have no responsibility either. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, we have to recognize that we have to go back to like straight, like really the basics, because we can't act like we haven't let stuff slip. We can't face reality, or act like that has not happened. Like, we have done things that are weak. You know what I'm saying? We display weakness, and I can't say that. Well, I like, for me, like, if I can't be like, yo, well, I blame in the next generation without trying to do something. You know what I'm saying? I agree with everything that y'all was saying about like personal thing. That's why I'm trying to say that, you know, whatever you do is good. Is just have the right mindset behind it. Like, if you can bake, then bake on a revolutionary way. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever it may be. But like, like I said, I'm not trying to like pass the blame or like the buck on anything. Like now is like the time that we have to take responsibility for the stuff that we do. You feel me?
I actually I get it. I get it. I'll put it to you this way. When MG2 is talking about, you know, you the individual doing it, that means you have to have an ancestral calling. Like you have to have a spiritual moment with yourself to say, what were you put here to do? And from hearing what you just said and just thinking about the perspective of where you're coming at it from by explaining it, I feel like when Sister Cassandra said that, you know, you'll be at her school as a historian, bro. What you're doing is on these airways, you're a journalist. A journalist is nothing but a historian. You know, journalism, the way and the method has definitely changed, and so it has to change with the times. And so that's what you're doing. You're being a journalist. You're starting this off. Nobody who does have a platform didn't start from somewhere, and your calling is to be that. It's to be a historian in a way. But with being a historian, you're also an orator. Like you're only going to get better at what you do as you refine your skills and you do it with time. That's what I'm understanding you to be. That, if you ask me, I think that might actually be your calling in life. And so if you really think about on what aspect you want to take this, bro, I think you nothing. The sky is the limit, bro. The sky is the limit.
And first of all, let me say, yo, I definitely appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? And I agree with that. You know, and I like because I'm not excluding myself because like I got like things that I need to improve upon. I'm a regular like person, and I go to work for them all right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm not trying to say that whatever, but like, yo, I agree with that. Like, what are you doing? And then, but we also can't ignore that. Like we are sending our children to their school systems on a mass scale and then wondering why we on the situation. And if we like not going to go into the school system, why ask the court? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we know what we're going to do. I'm just saying it's time for us to start upgrading our information into like, okay, now we know we ain't gonna do nothing. For like, first of all, why can we fix it? And I think that we can. And I think that we can by doing X, Y, and Z, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of stuff that y'all mentioned tonight, you know what I'm saying? So like this is not like saying nothing that what y'all was saying. It's just, just my opinion on, on the conversation. Cause like we can't ignore like history has happened, things have happened, you know what I'm saying, how we got in the situation, like the buck breaking thing we was talking about the other day, like it's real and the effects of it is real. So now that we know it's real, what are we going to do to actually combat it? And just, like we know that we're going to, like we know what we're going to do at this point. We don't have to keep asking like, so how can we change it? Or like, and I personally think by reaching the children, because a lot of adults is not going to understand like how allyship work or using somebody to get their resources work, but maybe your children will. Maybe they won't be afraid or make a bunch of excuses or invite everybody to the cookout. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that is the reason why the cookout at the end of the day has been canceled. You know what I'm saying? Because of the excessive Coon energy. And y'all don't display the Coon energy, but unfortunately, we don't control NAN institution, you know what I'm saying? And that's all of our responsibilities, you know what I'm saying? Like, so when I say, what are you going to do about it? What am I going to do about it? You know what I'm saying? Am I going to go to the schools? Am I going to go out there and talk to the young people? Am I going to sit there and just like, yeah, I try to make these things like as educational as possible and try to teach Black history and stuff like that. But like, it's bigger than me, like, because I can go to HBCU right now and they'll laugh me off the place because I don't have anything really backing me. But I can talk to young people. I can do these certain things, but we ain't doing it. That's the reality of it. Like all the people who have been here, like me included, we have our opportunity, you know what I'm saying? But we are not capitalizing on it, you know what I'm saying? So how are we going to switch? How are we going to fix that? We can't just ignore the people out there, you know what I'm saying? Or just let another generation go into like not knowing anything, because ultimately that's our responsibility. It's like if my son turned out to be like, of course I'm not responsible for everything my son does and all that, but you know what I'm saying? If I don't guide him the right way, how can I say, oh, you're not responsible if I ain't teaching responsibility? You know what I'm saying? It's a hand in hand thing, you know, I think. So, and you know what? I'm gonna let Black Magus say his last statements, and then after you say your last statements, I want you to you know, promote or say whatever you want to say, or your channel, and you can put it in the chat too, by the way.
I think the way everything has been summed up tonight, let's just go ahead on and end it on a good note. My Instagram, Black Family Vanguard, all one word. Tonight has definitely, as Shanique said, has given me something to think about. I've already had my ancestral calling. I know what it is I'm called out to do, but the perspective that was laid out has definitely helped to center me on really getting a little more serious with this podcasting. I'm just so busy and pulled in other directions. So the Instagram is is actually disabled for me doing lives, because I shared some pictures of Hunter Biden raping children, but whatever.
Damn, they blocked you on that.
I mean, it was actually a censored picture, but me just sharing that, like, within few seconds, I have never seen Instagram pull something down off my account so fast and told me I couldn't go live for 30 days. That was the quickest thing in the world. Truth is so censored. It's amazing to me. But you can always go on the page and at least look at the things that I am sharing from others. I am trying to start to put up reels. And just know that there are people out there on different um, on the different 9 areas, I guess you would say, fighting this battle. I always have to promote things that my brother Irritated Genie is doing. That's my teacher. With his fight against the Ashkenazis, the so-called Jews, as Sister Shanique has spoken about, he has been talking with white nationalists. First time in recorded history, you're seeing a black nationalist publicly have conversations with white nationalists. You can watch the series he just did with Dave Gahari on in go to Odyssey. That's OYDSEE, odyssey.com, and look for In Black and White. You can also go to In Black and White, I believe it's .com, to find the series on there. And on September 11th, he is meeting with David Duke to have a public discussion. Can black people and white people work together against a common enemy? Just I have that flyer on the Instagram as well, so you can check that out if you want more information about it. With that, I say peace.
Yeah, hey, yo, thank you, my brother, for coming on here. I appreciate yo. That was a great conversation for real. Shouts out to Black Megas, and you could put your whatever you want to put in the chat, my brother. Yo, Shanique, I appreciate you coming on too.
Thank you. I appreciate being on. It was really very moving and very powerful. Very powerful, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead. What's your closing statement? Because you was going in tonight. I appreciate everything that you was saying. You was going in on them.
You know what? The thrust of what I want to say is that it's clear that we all recognize that we felt something today that said to us that we have to. It's a call to action. They used to say that statement, the revolution will not be televised. Well, I don't believe it'll be televised because it'll be resonated, it'll be vibrated, it's in the air. Like we all realize that there is something that we have to do, and it is a call for revolution. But how do you do that? You have to take your step. Everyone has, no one can take your step for you. And I think that that's what, when we become sickened by the fact that the injustice is clear, present, everyone sees it and covers their eyes and says, no, it's not injustice, that we cannot just say, okay, well, that's just what it is. We have to do something. And each person's something is going to be different. For me, I recognize what I have to do and I just have to get started, and that's it. And as the brother said, he knows what he has to ramp up what he's already doing. So everyone sees that. I just want for us all to, on two levels, if there's nothing we come away with this from, is that your spiritual center, tap into it, and then take that action as well. That's what I hope comes out of this, because I know for me, I'm definitely going to tap in further into my spiritual center and speak to the Most High Yah and ask him, Father, make me a vessel for change the way that you see it for me. But also, I'm going to do action as well. It can't just be, like you said, lip service. It can't just be what we say. We have to say it and do it. Then we can be that change that we want to see. So again, I'm thankful this happened. Thanks so much. You have a great rest of your night.
Yo, thank you, Shanique. Thank you. I appreciate that. And Shanique, you know what? Until we start doing that, the cookouts have been temporarily suspended. You know what I'm saying? Due to excessive Coon energy, because all we do is talk about stuff, but we don't actually put it in practice. And I'm not saying everybody, you know what I'm saying? Because obviously there are those of us who's out there doing it, but obviously we have to take the time to realize where the change is going to come, to like get down with the next generation, teach them the knowledge, and stop letting us have to learn the same lessons over and over. You know what I'm saying? And you know, that's really the point of the show, like, because we don't understand. Well, now I don't like to call these shows, but you know what I'm saying, lessons that we have here, you know what I'm saying, because we explain our lives away. We are willing to make excuses. We will argue with each other, but we will not do the things that we need to do, you know what I'm saying, except for on a very small scale. And like the hope is not to individual change, because we already know, and that's why it's vital when we do certain things. Like, I'm gonna tell you about what happened to Erica, and the fact that we can't do nothing to help her is the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like Erica, like when she was first having health issues, you know what I'm saying, she went to the doctor, got misdiagnosed, and you know, all we could do is say, oh, you know, what's the number? Let me complain about it. We don't have no institutions. You don't have no way to reprimand the person. You ain't going to even smack the person or nothing. You know what I'm saying? And so then she got misdiagnosed. She went and got amputated. All right. So then she came back and was complaining about something. And they wouldn't even give her pain medicine. Right. They wouldn't even give her pain medicine. And they told her she'd be all right, but they misdiagnosed her again, had to get another amputation. Now and it's more stuff to it, you know what I'm saying? But now telling that she has to be like, you know, live in a home because she can't be taken care of. And if any of us had done anything, you know what I'm saying, what institution is there to protect her? So we can't act like we haven't dropped institutions, that we haven't done something. That's the important thing to say. Okay, we may have done something back in the day, but today we don't have it. So now we have to get to the point where it's okay to realize and say that, so now we can adjust and change, but we can't do nothing to help. We can say, oh, let's put together this and that, you know what I'm saying? But it probably won't get anything. So like, when we saying this, you know, like for me to say, you know, and for me to even say, because of the excessive cool energy, I can't act like I don't have like certain things that I have to still work out in my system. It's not excluding me. It's definitely including me. Right? What are you doing to help the youth if the youth is the problem? What are you doing if we have no access to food? What are you gonna do? Like, we don't have it. You know what I'm saying? Like, the point is, like, if you're not doing anything, like, we are still going to be in the same situation, right? You know what I'm saying? And this is only to like highlight what y'all saying, not to go against what y'all saying. But I'm also saying, and I know you know, like, it may be my thing to, like, you know, I guess make people mad, but like, you know, we are in a situation where we cannot protect our sisters. We can't protect our brothers. We ain't like, you go to school, you run away from the police trial. You got to explain them to court. You go to their court system. You do everything to them. You pay them for water. You pay like everything. You pay them to harass you. You pay them for everything. You get followed in their stores, but you still go to their stores. Like, we still go to their store. When I say you, I'm including myself. You know what I'm saying? So we have to realize the ball has been dropped, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta do what you gotta do, like, to pick yourself up from there. It's never about what nobody else do to them. I'm not surprised. I expect that. I'm surprised you are surprised by that. But what I'm surprised is we still respond the same damn way. We still have the same conversations, like the same conversations that I played at the very beginning. And I can't tell the youth what to do if I'm not out there trying to start something and, like, at least give them something to feed them. Like, Matron always used to bring up the nonprofits in the ways that you can get finances and money to put back into your community. You know what I'm saying? If we ain't doing something, you know what I'm saying, then how can we complain about anything? But you know what? We was talking about some Negro spirituals, and I said to my brother Bobby that he was like, this is one of his Negro spirituals that he used to listen to. So this is gonna be the last words for today. My brother Bobby, Negro spirituals. I'm sorry, this ain't mean to be loud, but I appreciate the conversation. This was a great conversation. Shouts out to MG2, one of the wisest brothers that I know in the, you know what I'm saying, the universe. And brothers need to have his ambition and spirit. Shouts out to my brother Black Magus, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, shouts out to my brother Bakari. Shouts out to Shanique, to Everett, to Raw, to Considera, you know what I'm saying? And this is what I'm saying. It's brothers that come on here and go at Considera when she got a program trying to help the youth, and she actually helped people, you know what I'm saying, in their real lives every single day. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't support that. We call them scammers. Yeah, Miss Judah. Real Negro spiritual. Yeah, and yeah, so shouts out to my brother Bobby, you know what I'm saying, with the you know, Negro spiritual. I should have made everybody sing their own Negro spiritual when they came on here. But but no, I appreciate y'all for listening. And Shouts out to all of y'all. And like I said, yo, Negro spirituals used to scare me. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I got lynched or something singing a Negro spiritual one day, and I'm back now to get my revenge. You know what I'm saying? You know what? I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all gotta forgive me. This gonna be the last one because this is the modern Negro spiritual. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna play this again. Oh, my bad. My bad, y'all. Oh, my bad.
Oh, say, can you see whose blood built this land? With sweat and their hands.
I'll skip it to then.
But the home of the slaves.
All right, so the home of the slaves, you know, because we may be in that situation 200 years from now if we don't do anything. But one last time, you know, I apologize to y'all. You know, the word has come down. It's not me saying this. I'm only giving y'all the news that the cookouts have been temporarily canceled. You know what I'm saying? I gave you my theories off to why, but maybe when somebody actually do something, you know what I'm saying, then we can get our cookouts back and I can go back to listen to Frankie Beverly. You feel me? But shouts out to y'all and shouts out to everybody in the chat. Raw, Miss Vita, Raw, and Say the Answer again. Bakari, Black Megas, Ben Uko is in the building. Shouts out to Consider. Subscribe to Consider. Sankar, he was first in the building. Matron was in the building. Shouts out to Matron, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully she come back soon with the real information. Shouts out to Shanique. Shanique was in the building. Shouts out to Erica, you know what I'm saying? Y'all say, pray for Erica, wish her well. Oni, you know what I'm saying? Everybody else, Rasheed Holmes was in the building for a second. MD2, shouts out to MD2. Y'all subscribe to MD2 and everybody channel. But as always, man, we have got to start standing for something or we're going to keep falling for anything.